Abubola, the black sun. We got the sun behind me, even though it's nighttime. How cool is that? See if it's, oh dang. Yeah, okay, you see how I'm looking outside, y'all, and then you see the sphere, and it's really big. That's how it was the other night. Like, you probably can't hear, but it's getting hot these days. Okay, like, alright, in the daytime, there was nobody at their house, and you see this big sphere? It was just taking up the whole sky, just like that video, that filter that's on it. That's pretty cool. Alright, anyways, y'all, thought I'd take you to this new word. We're going to learn a new Viking word today, because nothing teaches you about Viking, Norse, Salvics, and stuff. Elfhednar. 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 Look at this badass picture. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool, huh? Ragnarok. We got all these t-shirts and stuff. We got the black sun. I'm going to show you how they... look what they did. They removed this picture. If you guys don't believe me at all about anything or any of this, you know, they think this is a bad symbol. Okay, it looked like a comic book. It's pretty cool. And then I'm going to take you over here to my kombucha. What's so great about kombucha is there's a lot of cool stuff about it. It's just really good for you. It's super fantastic health-wise. Oh, that's pretty good. Might as well just get it done real quick, because it's really simple to do. When you're talking about filtering, I hope I can do this all right. I'm gonna put it on this light post. Hope this doesn't ruin my lighting. There we go. Actually, it works out, doesn't it? Damn. Pretty solid. Cool. A bola. Look, it's like electrical energy. That's really cool. You know, this is how I feel, y'all. When I start to feel that electromagnetic impulse, you gotta remember, we are electrical beings, whether you believe it or not. That's one of the realities. Some people, when you're not operating at a higher frequency, then, you know, it's hard for you to believe, you know, in all this stuff like positive energy. And I believe a lot of, I really do believe that a lot of, you know, when you're talking about, I don't know, I don't want to say any particular clubs or cults or belief systems and things like that, but they'll talk about finding, you know, positivity and all this stuff. Well, no, I'd say go look for it yourself. Ground yourself, meditate, and after, like, if you can really push yourself for 45 minutes, just try to be selfless. Don't think about anything. You'll begin to feel electrical impulse. I notice when I listen to my body and I find these specific spots, especially on top of soil. They took a lot of grass off the soil over here. So I put my feet, I was barefoot, and I grounded. And it was a day where it was lightning out, and there was a lot of electrical energy. You know, those days you can feel it. You can feel the negative ions in the atmosphere. You ever seen, for instance, when you're just sitting and you look up at the ceiling or even outside in the clouds, and like I'm saying, it's about to rain, and you see these little black orbs falling from the sky like this, just like that, ever so aimlessly, just falling. Sometimes they go up this way, they go up that way, just like pretty you know, spontaneous. So that's that black dark energy. If it weren't real, you wouldn't see it, and everybody else wouldn't talk about it. I see like this little spinning thing sometimes, and that's the what I identify as the black sun. Okay, now that's what we call it. I mean, you can call it anything. There's been a whole bunch of people that identify with it. Whether you like see it's like this spinning, and they've removed every post. If I have that picture, it's removed. I'll show you if you don't believe me. Look. See?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Look. This post goes against community standards. Look. Okay. It's either the logo. Every time I post this logo, it's removed. Okay. First of all, nice logo. It's not a swastika. Okay. I know there's a swastika that they usually put in the metal, There's an occult side to it. They've bastardized it with Hitler. I told you about my belief on that they've bastardized it. But it's not, that's not even what it's about. Okay, this is what I said. Sun on the left, or technically on the right, the moon on the left. The moon isn't real, but it's only a reflection of the sun, in which the black sun is below. Why would they do this painting with a black sun? Do you know how many artful works depict black sun in history? There are thousands, thousands upon thousands. What's so important about this black sun? Many in tune people connect with. Watch these epicacies and learn more about EGP Abdullah the Kaswa. See, so literally they've blocked every account. Iraq, Yahoo, Israel, they posted everything I had. That's blocked. Conscious state of reality, much like a god, where you can do all things. If you merely visualize and allow it, feel it, most importantly, know it, do not have faith or believe in it, let go, and do not let some middleman god take your power or hinder you. Check out the Black Sun playlist on YouTube. You can also teach about God numbers as well, whether you believe in that. When I slaved with Eric Plot, at plotpunches.com, that was something else, I think. Okay, so this goes against community standards. That statement is blocked. Okay? Blocked to the entire account. Look, it keeps saying it. I say continue. It's like, okay, we told you. Read the community standards. So what's so wrong? What? Okay, every account's blocked. Every single account is blocked. Do you understand that, y'all? I can't even reply back. It says your statement goes against community standards. That I just read to you, and that symbol is illegal in Facebook world. Okay. And saying Satan doesn't exist is obviously a no-no. You don't want to say that Satan doesn't exist. Okay, that painting I was telling you about, what's on the right and left, like that painting is right here. Okay, if there wasn't a black sun, then why the hell in this ancient painting depicting reality? Okay, let me show you. Look at it. Take a good look at that. Okay, look. Do you notice something interesting? Look at that. On the left, which you kind of can't see it. Yeah, you can. Okay, it's a bit blurry. You can go look this one up. There's a lot of ancient work out there. There's a sun on this side, which is his right path. You'll notice the sun. You'll see the moon, but it kind of has light to it, luminous. Then, so you got the sun and the moon. Oh, what's this guy standing on? Death? The black sun, which is 4 times bigger than the sun and the moon combined. This is the Most High, which is actually below. So maybe us standing upright, we are dead creatures as we are. We are dead. We're below. So when we die, we actually are going to be upright. That's the Most High, which is actually below. You ever think your perception is wrong? Dr. Kazar even talked about that. You remember? He said you're walking sideways. Yeah. Did you think you may be walking straight? Well, I think he was trying to insinuate people weren't ready for it maybe, but I'm here to tell you that maybe you walking upright is actually being upside down. So think of it this way. You see it now? Yeah. This is the Most High. Not up there. You see, you're dead. You see that? You're dead here. This is, angels are pointing down. They're pointing up. They're telling you, look up. Look down. That's the black sun. That's your creator. See, but they always depict it in art as death. No, you're dead. You're waiting to become alive. You live in hell. Welcome to hell. When you die, you'll be awakened. Unless you didn't learn this to begin with, I believe you'll be back here. So welcome again. Saturnalia. Saturn, the rings, ever revolving door. You'll just come right back. That's a moon, that's a sun. So tell me, what sun is this? This is ancient artwork. If they didn't think a black sun existed, they wouldn't talk about it. I guarantee you that. Okay? This really exists. As much as the sun and this moon. But you notice how they have the sun cut off and then the moon cut off, kind of. Because this is the most important thing. That's why. It's in the center. This is the Most High, which is below. Look, even this angel's pointing down. They know. Y'all are looking at the wrong things. And you notice the crow? It knows all things. It's the messenger. It's the one too. See that? Right there. Putra. Earthios. Earth, nature. See? God. The sun. The black sun. Putre. Earthio. Go look it up. It's nature. Nurchiaso. Voodoo. Black sun. Magic. Magnetism. Look it up. Hermeticism. It's the same shit. That's that one video there. Look, what do you think creates these clouds to act like this? What creates this? You just think it's chance? Look at that. I have the video. It's amazing how I post this video and I just say anything and I get it freaking taken down and removed, and then I gotta post about it with no comment. I can't even say anything. They remove anything I say. Look, you can't post for 7 days in Messenger. I mean, shit. I can't even say anything. I leave no description anymore. I just post it like, guess what? Just figure it out. They poison your air, food, water, then they sell us their medicine. I guess that's too offensive right there, you know? The eagle with two heads. Bam, bam. We're not eagles, y'all. See that? This is the 3, 6, and 9. This is the 2, 4, 6, 8. See that? It's all things. 33rd degree. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It's 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. See that? Bam. 33rd degree. It's the highest level of order. It's above God. It's man is God. It's the elite. See that? The 4 different faces, the lion, the eagle, the ox, the man, or the angel man. Angel man is God. You are God. They don't want you to know that. They consider that elite. The blue bloods. The red Draco bloods, which are above this. The RH negative blue bloods. You have your eagles, the right, left wing. Makes up one eagle, the sun and the moon. They're hiding something from y'all though. Right there, if you notice, the eagle is wearing a necklace. I don't know if you can see that. That's Mercury. That's Virgo. Virgo worships Mercury, the bull, the cross pointing down, the circle, and then the horns. Virgo worships Mercury, which is the god, the black sun. This is why the Messiah will be a Virgo, no matter what. It has to be a Virgo. So be it. It's prophetic. No other symbol can identify with this because there's no connection planetary during season that can relate to all seasons in time than someone who had sex, sowed the seed in December, death, to rise through January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Bam. We go through all seasons. That's why we're Virgo. The virgin, the innocent one. That's the thing we worship. Most people worship the pyramid or the circle. You see that? All other astrological signs, the only one that's unique is Virgo. Of course, all the other ones are very important because, like the Taurus, which is right there, it starts it off. You know, we were in Pisces, so that's just stupid shit, really. This is more important. You don't realize human population's being systemically dumbed. Because see, if you can't realize you're being dumbed down, then what's my information mean to you anyway, right? You may have been systematically dumbed down if you don't realize that the human population's being systematically dumbed down. This is funny because my friend was just saying, what is evil? Because the evil people rule the world. You know, he has some really great points. If he's watching, I don't know, tuning in, asking me is positivity a good thing? Well, I'm here to tell you, yeah, positivity works, man. Think about it. If you're negative all the time, what can you accomplish truly being negative? Look at these Indians over here. Do you think them protesting about fracking, chemtrails, do you think that they're negative? I'm going to tell you something. Indians, what Indians do you know are CEOs of major companies? I mean, real indigenous Indians, or natives, that's what they're called, the tribes. I come from the Cherokee tribe. My grandfather was Ladonna Plot from the Cherokee. He was half Cherokee Indian and French and German. French-German Indian. Okay, so I guess his daddy probably was part of the agenda, because he's a Mason. He probably was a part of the agenda to whitewash the Indians, the Native Americans. Why would they do that? Because they wanted to take them over. Because this is second or third generation Indian you see right here in this picture. The real true indigenous people, all of them were dark skinned black as coal, okay? Or obsidian black, okay? They weren't they weren't even red skin like this or whatever. So my grandpa looked like these Indians. Man, big nose, big ears, red as you could be, huge facial appearance, huge cheekbones. Look at my dad and my aunt. No offense, I'm just saying. That's your Indian qualities. So I'm getting back to what I was saying. That you won't see Indians owning these big companies, corporations. They're not the bosses. Okay, fracking, no chemtrails. Okay, these people eating this way, no offense, obesity, 33%, 76% overweight. I was overweight. I can identify my loved one, my family members. No offense to anyone. If you're overweight, just get real with it. Own up to it. You're overweight, you're overweight. It's really easy to do. When you have MSG and nearly everything, it's really easy to just gorge yourself. You don't have to worry about it. Watch a football game. Watch a bunch of guys that are running around in their tights, throwing the ball around, but ignore this, right? Fracking and chemtrails, okay? Like I said, these people don't, they, if anything, are connected with nature. But if you don't understand this, then maybe you are not connected with nature. It doesn't make them negative for being consciously aware of our decisions, which are truly destroying nature and our environment. It's not just something we say, like, oh, we're destroying nature, you guys. We're destroying the planet. No, fuck that. We really are, okay? That's the reality. That is absolutely the truth. You are really destroying our ocean, our biosphere, our rivers, our trees, our soil. It's depleted. Does not have B12, does not have minerals. That is the reality, okay? Drugs are in some of your processed foods. That's why you don't care. It's killing you and everyone you love. Bam. I posted that a while back, March 19th. Certain food ingredients literally make you dumb. Name some in the comments. Nobody even replied. MSG's one. There's moringa seeds. Look at all them beautiful heirloom organic moringa seeds. Those are hard to find. So if you're just tuning in, I kind of said certain foods literally make you dumb. You can name some below. You can name some below in this comment. Like I said, MSG, genetically modified foods. They have drugs in all kinds of foods that make you dumb. Okay? Drugs are in some of your processed food. That's why you don't care. It's killing you and everyone you love. So like I said, I have family like LaDonna Plott. He's kind of like half Indian. So he's probably a Masonic figure. Like I said, being a church guy, whatever. His agenda was to whitewash the next third, fourth generation indigenous Native American. They used to pay white men, European, Germans, and my grandpa's probably French, German, Indian. Okay, that was the agenda when you research it more deeper. They wanted to whitewash the indigenous Native American. They wanted to kill them. This is how they nicely created ethnical cleansing or exterminated them through genocide. Gave them some money, got them on heroin, gave them casinos, whatever. But no matter what, they did stand ground to fracking, chemtrails, the poisons and pollutants in the water, things like that. And if you look at my grandpa, even my aunt, my dad, they have big cheekbones, big features, big ears, no offense, like I said. But that part of that whole agenda was to whitewash, okay? LaDonna Plott. I have, 16th Indian, Cherokee Indian, whatever. So that could be what's, in my blood, is that the indigenous people were definitely more connected with nature. Your more European breed was just not. They didn't care. Okay, that's the reality. So I talked about these symbols. Go watch the rest of this video. Seems like I can't even comment about this stuff. See, if it wasn't important, why over here the sun, and then you have the moon, and you have the black sun right here. There's thousands upon thousands of artwork where I could show you the depiction of the black sun. I explained this picture earlier, so if you're just tuning in, remember to rewind this video. I really go detail on what this picture means and how the black sun is the most high. The angels are pointing down to death because it's the porthole in the center, the Mount Meru, which all people dying. So you think you're upright. You think this is life. You think you're alive. You're not alive. You're dead. Okay, do you understand that? Because all you focus on right now is death. You're not living. Okay, you're dying. You are every day, no matter what. You can argue with me. Every day, you're living to die. Okay, you're dying to live. So what's that mean? That means hopefully the next life we go to, back to source, if you're a good person, a positive person, you're going to go back to the porthole in Mount Meru, the hollow earth, the black hole. That's a magnetic energy which science has proven exists, and you can research it. I am coming out with the Black Sun documentary. It literally does this. That's why, the eclipse, we see a black thing go in front of the sun. Nobody to this day can explain it. They'll say it's the Earth's shadow on the sun. That's bullshit. There's no way the Earth is a spinning ball globe and somehow matches up and somehow covers the sun. It makes no sense that one day out of 700 years or 76 years, all of a sudden the Earth, just magically gets in front of the sun and is covering the sun. That's not even how it works, okay? First of all, the sun is a lot smaller than the Earth anyway, but the black sun is huge. And that's why these angels are pointing down at the black sun, because this is where we're headed. Our source. This is the creator, y'all. This is Yahweh. Whatever. It doesn't have a mind. It's not this big gray-haired God in the sky that loves everyone. It's just a magnetic energy. And I talked about this guy that explains magnetism, and he probably is going to get his video removed. So I'm actually, just to source that guy's video, I'm going to play it here in a minute, so that we can understand it more about magnetism. Look, you are God. Black sun is the subconscious below, and the sun is the conscious above. You are the creator. This is why if you look at Jesus, he's pointing 5 fingers up. This is the as is above. He's pointing upwards 5. 5 means half of God, which is a good thing. 5 and 5 is 10, which is 1. That's you. You're God. The Satan is 1. He's pointing 1 down and 3 back at him, which is balance. He's the balance. 1 down is God. 3 up. You ever pointed at someone and blamed them? Ah, you're fat. Ah, you're wrong. Ah, I don't agree with you. You're pointing at them, 1. You're God. You're condemning. You're judging them, right? You're pointing at them. But there's 3 fingers pointing back at you, right? So, in other words, there's a triad. There's a dagger pointing back at you. Death. Because you want to judge somebody. So that's why I don't judge people anymore. I don't care what you think about me. They're just words. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Words will never hurt me. You can judge me, call me fake, hate on me. You can say anything you want about me. I really don't care. That's 3 fingers pointing back at you. If you make fun of a girl, oh, look at that girl. She's so whatever, ugly, fat. I don't like her. Her makeup looks weird. What you're really doing is you're giving her attention, especially if she fights back by not even doing anything. That's a selfless, humble response. So if you do that, women out there, instead of jumping back and barking back at them, you won. You understand that? You won You won the fight. So there's a lesson for you right there. It's really simple. If someone hates on you, naysays, just don't even give it time. Don't even give it a deal. And guess what? You won. You just got all that attention. When you make fun of that girl over here or there, you're actually giving them attention. Okay? That's the ultimate reality. So, with that, okay, you are the creator, whether you're male or female. Remember, the black sun is actually a feminine energy. So if anything, the woman is the one that's more powerful in a sense, because she's going to create and prolong all of life, just like the sun. But you notice men are like the sun, which is a masculine energy. That's true. We give all of our due to the moon as being feminine energy. You want to harness that energy at night. What I really believe is pretty intricate. I've lately been thinking about it, connecting with it. The black sun is a reflection of this black hole or black sphere. The sun, just right in front of the moon, is reflecting its energy, its radiation, spectrum energy, onto the earth, and it's reflecting up onto the dome, and the black sun catches that, okay, as it is a magnetic force. So it grabs that as a holographic entity, and it creates this moon. And when it's hitting directly onto the black sun, and you see it hitting directly onto the black sun, you see it as a full moon, just like this huge circle. It's a full moon out. And that's why people do crazy things, because there's so much magnetism. And the only thing they can say is, oh, women, they're weird when it's a full moon, or some guys are all crazy when it's a full moon. What are they saying? The truth is there's so much magnetic frequency and energy and negative energy. You gotta remember, negative grounded energy is much more positive. A rock that has been sitting subtly, just sitting there grounded for a long duration in a river for thousands of years or hundreds of years, just sitting there, is much more powerful than something that's moving, okay? Because it's not stable, okay? It's not constant. Like a running river. We think, oh, that's so powerful. Yeah, there's a lot of energy in a flowing river, no doubt. But right aside from it, a big boulder, a big rock, has been sitting there for hundreds of years, just absorbing all that energy from that river flow. And see, nobody thinks about that. But that's negative energy, ground. Just like, for instance, a battery in your car. When we think about when we have to charge, or what do they call that? Start another car, you know, what's that called? You gotta start the engine. You have to plug the plugs. You know, your what's that called? You know, the starters. You gotta plug them up, negative and positive, and then get to another car, turn it on, start it, to jump a car, right? You have your jumper cables. That's it. So then you plug the other ones up. Okay, well, you'll notice you got to be careful, because if you don't start with the positive first and then the negative, what happens? You can surge your battery. You can actually, you know, shock it out, right? This is because the grounded energy is much more powerful, okay? But we think positive is powerful, because, you know, when you put the positive on, you have the electricity come up. It's like a socket, and you're like, you get electrocuted. You're like, oh my God, I'm not going to mess with the positive. So we think positive is more dangerous or more powerful, right? Everybody does. I mean, your whole life you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to get electrocuted. You think positive is where it's at. And you think negative is dead, but there's nothing that's dead in this realm. Okay, nothing is dead in this world. Nothing. Not even the color black. And if anything, black or dark energy is that quote-unquote negative energy. When it rains, you have more negative ions. Don't you feel more energy in the atmosphere? Why is that? Because, see, the positive energy is gone, zapped out, okay? Negative energy is the most powerful energy. Dark energy or black energy is the most powerful energy. They've identified these things as duality and negative. So they say it's evil, or Eve. This is why the moon is feminine. They call it Eve, Adam and Eve. Adam is beginning, or man. Eve is woman, or evil woman, okay? That's not necessarily so, is it? Not every woman's evil, or that doesn't even exist. Let's just go that far. There's no such thing as evil. Nature is just. How about that? Okay? Everything that happens is just. Just because you don't identify with it doesn't even matter. And even when they frack, spray chemtrails in the air, these things, that is man being evil, but it is fair. It is so. It is reality. Now, we as God can step up against that reality and say, I don't want my children to be poisoned, toxified, poison their air, their food, their soil, water. I don't like that reality, because, see, what they're wanting to do is make sure that you can't operate at your highest frequency. They're taking away your godhood. That is why I fight for all of humanity, and I will be blessed, because I'm both positive and negative. You see that? I am God. I am both. That's why I throw my twos up. I am the two. I'm God. I'm both gods. I'm 10-0-1. I'm 10-10. I am the one and the one. There's two entities that exist. There's two energies that are real. Okay? And when you identify with only one, Christian, I'm good all the time. Can you be good all the time? Can you tell me you can be good at all times? Can you be always positive? No. Some days you're negative. Some days you have bad days. Some days you feel like giving up. You feel like saying, screw it, whatever, you know? Give me that cheesecake, right? I don't know. This is life, okay? As is above, as below. You're dead, whether you think you're alive. You've been told your whole life you're alive, but I'm here to tell you you're undead, which means your heart is beating electrically. From where? Where is that source of electricity coming from? How are you breathing? Where does oxygen come from? Which is nitrogen, which starts your car. It's combustion. Where is that coming from? I'm telling you, the black sun. Energy transference. Look, your friend is full of emotional energies. Your friend shares his emotional story, right? So it's negative chatter, or static is what I like to call it. That static now comes to you, but they feel relieved, right? His emotional stuff is now hanging in your field. Now, I have people send me negative stuff all the time, but I don't allow it to, bring me down. I don't. It can, but I like to convert that negative energy, whatever you want to call it, static, which is neutral. Neutral is actually negative. So even if somebody is being non-positive, but they're not even being negative, they're being neutral, it's actually always negative. You see how that works? So even if someone isn't hating on you, being abrasive, whatever, but they're telling you something about themselves that's bad, what they're trying to do is take your shine away. And then so now they feel relieved and they have a shine, but they left you with the static. Emotional energy itself is neutral. It's the feeling, sensation, or psychological reaction that makes a specific emotion positive or negative. An emotional exhausting interaction can leave us feeling like our tank is on empty. In order to remain grounded, we need to cultivate an awareness of energy we are encountering on a daily basis and implement practical tools which allows us to remain balanced. And that's what I was saying. If you, after someone did that to you and you have all this static or negative, best thing you can do is go out, gaze, take your shoes off, sun gaze, ground, balance, earth to the ground yourself. It's the black sun. Look and gaze at the sun. If it's already nighttime, it's too late, you can gaze at the black sun. You can just go out and you'll feel that wind. Feel that wind coming in. That wind energy is the black sun. And you'll have it like, oh my God, it feels like the Holy Spirit is coming amongst me. Well, that's the black sun. Today, the black sun knows how to move with words like the Holy Spirit, Yahweh, God of the Bible, because so many people are bought into that hoax or that storyline, that fable and fairy tale. And that's fine because that's where you're at. That's all it knows to work with. But when you get down into the meat and gravy of it, black sun is a real entity and you can connect right with it. So if you ground and meditate for 45 minutes to an hour, I've noticed just amazing things happen. Godhood happens. This is the secrets of how this is made. Amethyst, crystal, onyx. Rocks have energy. Crystals have energy. You have a copper coil. I have a copper coil and an amethyst with a crystal. When I'm upstairs and I'm working in my office, I can plug this thing I made. I plug this crystal into the ground on my outlet. You see that little thing popping up? That goes in my ground, and I put this on my bed or on my ground. That's copper, which is a connector wire. That is crystal and amethyst. One absorbs energy and one outputs energy. Okay, and it may look like some crazy concoction. I know, or like, oh my God, you're playing with rocks. Are you a fool? You must be like a little kid, right? I understand. But however, when I ground this rock and I put it out in the sun, and then I put it in the room, the whole room feels grounded. It definitely feels way more powerful in here, and you can feel it. It blocks all negative energy. Look there, the black sun, the other sun. You see how the black sun is always bigger than this sun. This is why the black sun is considered the most high. Okay, what man has done, or Masons, they worship Saturnalia, or Saturn, which has a ring around it. Why is that? Let me show you real quick why. Look, when you have the black sun, okay, the black sun creates this magnetic thing. And they say there's a bunch of black holes. Okay, there's this thing like this, and it spins. I've seen it. Okay, it really does exist. It's called a black hole. And what it is it's actually it's this thing. I've seen it outside my window. It spins really fast, like as if there was like a chain, and you spun it really quick right in front of you, and it just is moving, and it gets really big. It can get really big really fast. Okay, that is created from this black sun. So they're one and the same. And if you jump into this black hole or you connect with it, it'll show you the black sun. Okay. So what I believe Saturn is it's a bastardization. They're trying to hide this reality by taking the black hole and draping it around the black sun. You see that? And well, how would I have gotten this information to tell you that? You see what I'm saying? because that's the reality. Saturn does not exist, as well as the other 12 planets. Those are principles, just like ancient Egyptology. Not a single one of those planets can you visit, or do they exist. And then the last planet, which I believe is the 12th or 13th, is Nibiru, which is the black sun, again, for sure. But it's funny, because Saturn is Saturnalia, which is Satan, okay? Satan does not exist, and I've lost all of my accounts for saying this, and I'm going to say it in this video. I'll say it again with pride. Satan is a man-made precept or concept of man, the 12 or the 33rd degree, that goes over the head of God, or 10. They worship Satan as Saturn because they are Satan, okay? They can do whatever they want, but this is dark black magic, okay? Which is bad, okay? So they tell you how to kill, poison, okay, toxify, and then so that's how they kill you. You see that? And they justify it through their godhood, because they are God, as becoming Satan, okay? Satan does not exist, however. So when you connect with the real God, which is Nibiru, which is actually the black sun, it's a positive negative entity, okay? Black sun. It does not want you to destroy its creation. Why would it want you to do that? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, so you have the black sun, which is actually the black ball that does exist. It's found out all through history, ancient times, Sumerian texts. It's everywhere. It's so hidden you can't find any information on it. Well, I'm about to produce the greatest documentary on it, coming soon. I said the same thing about Soursop. Never got to it. They burned my hard drive up. But this will be interesting to talk about. You can't take a picture of the black hole, even though they said they recently got footage of the black hole. They don't like to talk about this black sun at all. They instead know it as the black hole. Okay, they'll go that far, but they definitely do not talk about the black sun. And this little speck here is its baby, which is known as the moon. It's a spectacle, a hologram of the black sun. So the sun goes out on this flat earth plane, and what happens is it's going in its revolution. It's moving through a magnetic field that's created from the spiral of magnetism, which we're about to show you what magnetism is. You hold on tight, because it's very interesting. It may be boring to hear this guy, but you'll get, for the first time ever, the truest explanation of magnetism ever, okay? For real. So I'm excited to share that with you guys before they take it down. See, Planet X, Nibiru, that's the black sun. They're one and the same. Nibiru comes every 3,000 years. Truth be known, it's about every 400 years. It causes a great reset, so get ready. All evil things that have been built, all negative entities that are causing tension on the earth, black sun is like an umbilical cord to the earth. So what happens is the black sun's about to reset everything. This is why they say God's about to return again, and Armageddon and apocalypse is about to occur. It's not true. There's no God. The black sun is God, if anything. And the black sun's about to reset everything. I saw the black sun blanket the sky the other day. We're almost there. And in one moment to the next, the whole world's going to change. So that's what's about to happen. I wish I didn't take my picture away here, because I had done a diagram to my girlfriend about what the black sun looked like. It's gone now. But I went down the street. I went to the golf course, which was down here. It's like this hill. I was on it when I went in my video. I went down. There's where you get your little golf carts. You know, you got your little golf cart. That's a terrible explanation of a golf cart, or depiction of a golf cart. You know, that you're tutting along. Okay. I was down this road, and there was two joggers over here, you know. I have to tell you this story. I've showed you it before. It gets more cut off like this. There's houses over here. And as I was driving to my big Kazwa truck over here, you know, I'm driving, and all of a sudden I look over the horizon. You know, you got your trees and stuff, and you're going over here or whatever. It kind of goes off. And, you know, you got your sun over here. It was going down. It was still daylight. And I kid you not, I look up, and I see this huge black sun take over all that I could see from the horizon. Everything. If you can imagine, just this huge black ball covering everything I could see. I feel like one of these prophets, and you hear those stories like they tell you, oh, I saw the sky blanketed, you know, some crazy shit. Well, that's what was going on. Like, and I kept blinking my eyes, poking in my eyes, and slapping myself like, am I in a dream? Is this really going on? Why am I seeing all this? You know, I had meditated for 45 minutes straight, sun gazed. Everything I saw was real. I saw this sun just take over, you know, all the earth. It's huge. It can be as huge as it wants. It let me see that day. So the black sun, you know, when it blankets the earth like that, maybe that was a prophetic moment. Like, it's like when that happens and you see the sky blanketed, as it says even in Revelations, it mentions how the sky will be blanketed. Okay, that's where the Bible has merit. Because they know every 400 years, Nibiru comes back. Okay, people, get ready. Nibiru is about to come up. Planet X is about to come back. So when that happens, you're going to have a great reset. Everything starts right over. Okay? I don't know what this is. Dratiti Spar Zalzi. I have no idea what that is, but that's interesting. May have want to look that one up. See, that's what I was saying about negative and positive charge. Okay, negative is actually more powerful because when you get grounded and then you have the positive charge, that's when the positive, it's the output. It's like, bam, and it shocks you. Okay? But the most powerful is the beginning. That's like the black sun. The black sun is the ground, the negative. Does that make sense? The black sun is the hollow earth where everything began. When everything was created in Mount Meru, it's the hollow earth. So through its consciousness, it created everything you see. All the wildlife, all of nature, used to be tropical. Everything was perfect and connected. When man has constantly gone back to greed, lust, power, all this stuff, what happens is it floods, it destroys Atlantis, it destroys Rome, it destroys Egypt, it destroys America. It's going to destroy, wipe Israel off the map, you know, all these things. Okay, it's because you can't destroy nature. You really can't screw with this negative power here. It's going to zap you off. When you touch the fire, you play with the fire, you think you're in control, you're about to find out you're not. Ababola, the ruler of the world. Okay? This is God numbers explained. I didn't get to go through it. It's really simple. Okay? Both, as is above and below. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay? Think of that, right? And then think of 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay? Prime and composite. We're even taught that in math. Any which way you look at this is really interesting. This is numbers in every language described in a picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? You go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It works either which way. Okay? 3, 6, 9, 12. See that? Which essentially is 3. So it takes you to 1, 2, 3. And from that, you have that 13. Okay, you could say 1, 2, 3, or you can say 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, you know, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's all numbers working together. And like I said, no matter what, it doesn't go any higher than what you see here. Okay, you could say even, you can work it the other way and say 3, 6, 9, you know, or 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, then 10. See, and 10 is always God, and it's the black sun going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's, God is always the negative or the ground. It's the one that's fallen. Lucifer falling. Okay, God is not the sun above. Okay, Jesus. It's not the one. That's not the Most High. We think it is. See, Jesus casting out the sun, or the black sun, that's... The black sun created the white sun. Okay, so when it says Satan's the false morning star, false star will be fall before Jesus, that's deception. See how that is a accepted thought? In Christianity, they'll say Satan is evil, cast it out. Okay, that's the accepted thought. Nobody even argues that, right? But the truth is that Jesus is the Satan. It's the deceiver. Okay? The black sun is the controller, is God. It's the controller of the airways, whatever you want to look at. You can't always be good. In other words, the light of the world is what? The sun. Yes. Okay, you gaze at the sun to get to the black sun. When you die, which is death, you go back to the black sun. Okay, this is why they make it a negative or bad thing. But the thing about it is it's not Satan, it's Lucifer, which is actually one with Jesus. They're the balance. They balance each other out. Okay, that's the reality. There is no such thing as Satan or the serpent. That's wisdom. They don't want you. This is why they made it a slave manual. They want you to think the serpent is evil, but it says be like doves, right? Be as innocent as doves or something like that, or sheep, and be as wise as serpents, because serpents are the kundalini or wisdom. Because you get to the crown chakra, that's the building up of the 33rd degrees. Okay, the snakes, they go like this. They are the gods of the earth. The snake is representative of God on earth. It slithers. The way it slithers, it is every motion of life. Okay, like this. Okay, 369, 369, 369. Snakes are a perfect animal. They're androgynous, male and female. They are the most like God slithering on this planet. Okay, if you don't like a snake, unfortunately, you don't really identify with nature and you don't love God. They want you to be like this, perfect and pure and ignorant in your ways. They don't want you to eat of the tree of wisdom because they don't want you to know who you are. So you wear clothing and you don't realize you are naturous beings. You are to be walking around naked. They make you feel guilty for walking around naked. They make you live in fear if you don't listen to a fake God that doesn't exist. You know, on and on and on and on down the line. Because Yahweh is Satan or Saturnalia or Allah. People don't want to hear this message, but that's the reality. Because he tells you what to do. Okay? There's nothing in nature that tells you what to do. If you were out in nature, or let's say we were in the Garden of Eden, would there be anything to stop you and say, hey, you need to not eat of that tree. Hey, you need to not live that way. You need to live this way. Hey, you know, you need to put some clothes on. I cast you out of the Garden of Eden. Okay, why is it these stories are ancient and God doesn't come out and tell you these things anymore? You believe it because you read it from a book, right? Think about that. Let that sink in. Does God talk to you audibly when you pray to him? Or are you answering for him or it? Okay, so you believe this story is ancient in its ways, that God spoke to these people saying that they're naked, they ate of the tree of good and evil, they're cast out because they listened to the serpent snake. This is all allegorical. This is astrological, okay? I've researched this. I'm very sound in what I'm telling you right now, okay? This is the black sun, and that's the sun, okay? Negative, positive. But guess what? This one's always going to win. The black sun wins. Because the black sun, or Lucifer, not Satan. Satan's got man. That's their cult to make you not, stray away from this. They want you to go to the light side, like this is good and you'll be in good company, whatever. Which we all know Jesus is not the creator. He even says that. If anything, he knows who's going to win. The ground, the negative entity, the below. That's why, look at this. Lucifer is pointing down below. He's pointing up. All five up. See it? Like this. Pointing up. The above, the sun. He's the most high to man. Man is deceived, though, because when you get connected to the earth, you realize this black sun is where you're going. This is the most powerful entity on the planet, is the black sun. On Sofar is the creator. Yahuwah. Okay? Yahweh. But again, they've manipulated that person, Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh, is Satan. Okay, Satan is not Lucifer, so let's get that straight. Satan does not exist. This is why every one of my accounts are blocked, because I have clearly described that. I'm breaking the ice. I'm telling you, Satan does not exist. That is Saturnalia, like we said here. Saturn does not exist. It's manipulating the black sun and the black hole. Why do you think they removed my picture? Did you see that? In the beginning of my video, they removed my picture. This is what happens after Wim of method, which is when you're grounding. So you can pause that. I could go into that for a long time, 60 minutes, 30 minutes. When you just ground and gaze at the sun. It's pretty amazing stuff. Things are always working out for me. Just know that, okay? Know that. Tell yourself, things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Know it. Don't believe it. Don't have faith in it. It's time to just be happy. Being angry, sad, overthinking is just not worth it anymore. Just let things flow. Be positive, okay? And ground yourself. with that negative black sun, that power. Okay? Let that be your root, that all things are bad. Okay? That you're ready for any bad. Anything that's thrown your way, don't let it stop you. People calling you names, naysaying, giving you strife and strut, whatever, throwing their negative darkness on you. Don't get angry. Don't let them control you. If you get angry, you've allowed them for you to press your own angry button. If you do that, then you've lost. This man's 140 years old. He just consumes air. He may be skinny, but look at him for 140. Come on. Okay, that's pretty impressive. He consumes only air. Tells you a lot about what you can do. Psychic power is the ability to download information from the source. Well, what's the source? The black sun, baby. The black sun's the source. It's what you ground to. Okay? You can call it Yahweh if you want, but just don't get Yahweh screwed up with the reality of it. The black sun does not ask you to do anything. Okay? That's what I think I'm trying to get through people's heads. You don't have to do anything at all. Does that mean go harm or kill someone, kill an animal, kill the land? No, not at all. Why would you do that? It doesn't even make sense why you would want to do that, okay? That's not what the black sun's about. The black sun created everything. It doesn't want to destroy everything. So there's a middle line of disconnect between your ground or the black sun where you're chaotic up in the air. And you're not connected on a higher frequency with the sun, which is all the information. So you're in this neutral energy, which can be maybe or not, good or bad, right? Neutral, gray area. And with that is where you do stupid things. You can kill animals. You can go to war, go to arms, start fighting, want to destroy. That's the disconnect. You have no electrical flow then. Okay. This is alchemical. This is the green lion biting the sun. It's an alchemical recipe. If you've caught the symbolism there. The green lion, which is the red philosopher's stone, that's the blood coming from the sun, and that's the red philosopher's stone, the elixir of life, everlasting life. This is what I see everything in all space. When you look at all space before you, all space is this magnetism. There's a magnetic energy of nothingness, which is all space and time, whatever the black sun. You see that little dust that comes in the window, and you're like, how the hell did that dust get there? That's the other negative of this that doesn't really exist. Then those little black balls, those little black orbs we talked about earlier that are falling are the magnetic spores of black energy, magnetism. Okay, which I guess I could get into that. Our ancestors built the greatest cities ever without money. Let that sink in. Bingo. You don't need money to build your kingdom. As the world continues to get more evil and controlled, people will not care because they're too distracted to notice. There you go. Whoever brings you the most peace, you should get the most time. These are some of the things I recently posted. Love is not a relationship with someone. Love is a way of life with everything. There you have it. It's funny, kids sneaking into the gates of the kingdom of heaven. That's like me. I'm in the kingdom of heaven, baby. It's in the mind. It's in the pineal gland. Okay? That's the kingdom of heaven. It's here right now. You can tap into it right now. And when you die, and when I die, I'm going there. Because I've already tapped into it. I'm there. Behind every atom of this world hides the infinite universe. Bam. You're a part of that. Do not disconnect. This is why I'm telling you the Slave Manual Bible is the most dangerous thing humanly possible. Okay? It's so dangerous. Okay? Just trying to keep it real with you here. How are you doing? Did not hear what you've been doing for a couple days now. Okay. Yeah, because I'm blocked, dude. Okay, blocked. Okay, we're going to talk about this symbol here. Our Ilfgred. Real quick. Teach you a Nordic word. Ragnarok. Okay, Ilfhegar is a wolf grouping of Viking warriors. The Masons took this, by the way, the wolf. Viking warriors who originated from the ancient Norse religion rites, most likely involving Odin, chief Viking god who was most venerated by the Vikings, had two giant wolves as a pet. And I can go you pictures of this. It's pretty wild. There it is, the wolf. the Berserker. Okay, there's just some symbols. Berserker. They're pretty wild dudes. I saw this guy in video here. Berserker. Alright. They defended their own. Okay. They didn't let Christianity or Vatican come at them. Of course, the Vatican tried to destroy this belief because this was Valhalla, heaven on earth. Or you can call it paganism, whatever. Thor. Okay. They took this, all that is good, away from man, which is relying on yourself, building your own kingdom, your own godhood. They did not want people to believe this anymore. So they gave us a new belief system, that we are a slave, humble servant to God, Yahweh, the below. But really, you're enslaved to money. You're enslaved to the government. That's why you go to work every day. You turn the other cheek because you're told to agree with your slave masters. And do not question your slave masters because they control you. And give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Don't ask any questions about it. Okay? Pretty much. That's what that means. Okay? So, yes, the Viking had it right. The Nordics had it right all along. That you are your own god. Okay? And I'm going to teach people this. This is why I've broken it down. I had to first start with my lesson of the day. We're starting. School's in session, baby. Satan does not exist. That's the first lesson you got to learn. Satan does not exist. No. Negative people, you can say negativity, whatever. Okay? It's fair. Even if people are abusing, sacrificing children, have you seen that? I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I know it exists. Okay? That's higher up people who love money, though. Now, if you took money out of the equation, a broken system that doesn't work, then guess what? You wouldn't care, would you? No. Because you couldn't. Think of it this way. Would you sell your ass? Would you sell your ass for sex? For free? If some greasy fat slob came up to you and said, I'm going to have sex with you, is that cool? Would you bend over? Would you take it? Just because? Now let's change the scenario up. If a fat, greasy, nasty slob came up to you and offered you $1 million to have sex with them, then would you do it? Maybe. Some people are thinking, well, that's a lot of money, right? I'd do it for that one moment, that one time, $1 million. That's it. And then you don't have to work, you don't have to do anything for the rest of your life. How many people have been there? Because I can guarantee you that's kind of how it works. When you look at Dan Penna, the $50 billion man, how many times did he have to bend over to get $50 billion? How many kids did he have to round up? How many young men did he have to round up in his dominion and offer as sex prostitution slaves? That's your business transaction. There ain't no business. There ain't no business deals going on. It's all prostitution. It is young, underage sex. It's underground sex trade. There you have it. Broke that one. Vikings had 2 wolf pets. They were designated to be swallowed by the giant wolf. Battle ferocity influenced later European werewolf folklore, like the berserkers that performed chants, ritual prior to. I'm gonna have to get plugged in real quick, y'all. Hold on. My phone is gonna die elsewise here. All right, the berserker rage. Okay. So you know when you get really angry, that's what I was saying earlier, was you get really angry, you get berserker rage, okay? When through adrenaline, they became much stronger, possibly upwards of 10 times stronger than normal. Faster, they became immune to pain, and they bled less. Okay, that's what Uthednar wolf are. They were beyond berserker. They were Odin's special warriors, elite Viking forces. They were known to wear wolf pelts in contrast to the abilities of other warriors. The hammer shapeshifters, they didn't wear helmets or mail coats, bit their shield in rage prior to each battle, killed enemies with just one blow, and they're immune to fire or iron. Without berserker Eldhidnar as shock troops, King Helinar would have been unsuccessful in its quest to unify Norway, after all. So this is like real history. It ties into real history. It was said that to kill Ilfenhard, you had to crush their heads. Pretty wild. So that was their shirts. I love their shirts. They're, different shirts. And this is one of them. I really liked this one. Pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, different colors, just like my shirt. Even on the red there, pretty cool because it's berserkers. And 2 wolves on the side, which is the berserkers there. So, and I got a whole Viking playlist here. Happens when a wolf. Oh yeah, okay. I gotta go to.
Dogs are our faithful companions. They're cuddly, lovable, and sometimes downright stupid. But according to scientists, they were domesticated only 15 to 36,000 years ago. Before this, they looked and acted more like their vicious and untamed ancestors, the wolves. Wolves are ferocious, wild predators that we are taught to be afraid of from a very young age, and not for lack of reason. So you would imagine any meeting involving a dog and a wolf would end in violence and death. This story, however, will prove otherwise. Nick Jans is an Alaskan hunter turned photographer turned author. He has written many books about life and wildlife in Alaska. In 2003, he was visiting his holiday home in Juneau, Alaska with his wife and his pet Labrador. Having spent nearly 20 years in the Alaskan wilderness, Nick knew a lot about wolves. On that fateful day, a black wolf appeared out of the twilight outside their back porch. And when his curious dog went out to meet the wolf, he could do nothing but watch. Nick feared the worst, as wolves are wild and unpredictable. But surprisingly, the wolf turned out to be friendly. The 2 animals started playing together. Nick took a while to come out of his shock, but soon started taking pictures of the 2. Soon, the wolf had become a regular and was given the name Romeo by the photographer. Pretty soon, the other locals of the town also joined in the fun. They brought their own dogs to the nearby Mendenhall Glacier Park to play with the wolf. They too were very skeptical of the wild animal, but soon grew to like it. They found that the wolf wanted nothing more than to play. According to Nick, this was an extremely rare incident. Even finding a wolf out in the open was unusual. Nick also remarked that the wolf was not suffering from an illness and was not acting stupid. It came out in the open because it simply wanted to play with the other dogs. The wolf was indeed a wild animal, but it possessed an understanding that, when combined with that of humans and their dogs, brought harmony between the 3 species. This was evident from the fact that the wolf played not just with the dogs, but also humans. The wolf had kept a stash of toys, like a styrofoam float, that it would bring out to the humans to throw and play fetch. The wolf understood the behavior of the dogs and the humans and wanted to be a part of it too. What is even more remarkable was that this was not some solitary encounter. The wolf came back again and again. This relationship went on for 6 years. It became more and more domesticated during this time. It would even accompany skiers and lie down in the sun with other humans. During this time, Nick stayed in his holiday home and documented this joyful adventure. His experiences later took the form of the book, A Wolf Called Romeo. Romeo has also been the subject of other similar books. Unfortunately, the story Romeo has also been the subject of
See, that's 5 and 4 is 9. 6 and 6 is 12, which is 3. That's 12, which is 3. And then you have 9, 10, 11, 12, which is 3. So again, it's a Masonic. This is all made up story.
Other similar books. Unfortunately, the story of Romeo came to a sad end when it was shot by poachers from a different state. Maybe it was the dogs that rubbed off on Romeo. Maybe the wolf thought of itself as another dog. Maybe it was just trying to survive in the unforgiving wild. What we can be sure about is that Romeo had left an indelible mark on everyone in that town. After its death, the town even held a memorial for it. There is even a specially made plaque commemorating Romeo. Romeo truly represents all the wolves throughout history that chose to approach humans not as a predator, but as a friend. It is truly a story that needs to be told. Romeo and Nick shared a bond that was probably what the first humans who domesticated dogs felt about their dogs. More than about building trust, it was about understanding the need for friendship that even the wildest animal feels. Even though Romeo has died, his story will live on in the pages of Nick's book, and will be a testament to the trust that a little understanding can bring between the most unlikely of people.
As a thank you for your continued support to this channel for these past 2...
Check out that channel. You notice the pyramid pointing down. It's downwards 369, feminine energy. This is kind of like the story of the black sun, which is bigger, and that's like the yellow or the yellow sun. It's the same thing, and that's why they said Romeo's died, or 12 has died. They want to hide the black sun. It's symbolic. It's in every story that the black sun is hidden. I find that pretty fascinating. We're going to go to magnetism explained video. I'm going to do this where I'm going to do my this is the best explanation ever for it. There it is. Deepest Secrets of Magnetism, first time explained. Center of Light. It's 20 minutes. We're going to go to it after I do the kombucha thing. Because everything you've ever known about magnetism, which this is everything that's magicism, okay? It's the greatest lost secret ever, and they don't want you to know about it, but this is kind of how the black hole works, and then this is the center of all life, if you can imagine. That's why it's around. This is why they say the Earth is flat, or I mean it's a spinning ball, because this is the Earth, right? And that's the center of the Earth, but you're looking at it from above, okay? So Earth is a circle, but it is a flat circle. You see, you understand that? See, like this. It's like a dome up here, flat, and then there's an inner that goes down, like a hole that goes down. Okay, this is why there is such thing as an ankh in Egyptian. This is afterlife, because it's all life, which got bastardized and cut off and became a cross, or to cross out. They crossed out your salvation. So you have no life, okay, but that's 4, because that turns into a box. This is why they worship the black cube, because if you were to roll this cross up, it'll become a cube, okay? And if you know that or not, this is the black cube, okay? Arabs worship and they bow down to the black cubes. The Jews put a black cube on their head, and that's just that, okay? But the reality is what they're doing is they're manipulating this dome atop the flat Earth, the inner hole in the Mount Meru. That's the Garden of Eden in the center, and then you have all these continents, and you have 2 different things going like this. That's the rivers that are flowing. Okay, that's where the swastika comes from. It's the truth of our reality. Okay, they're hiding that reality. There's a whirlpool that goes like this way, and a whirlpool that goes that way, and a whirlpool that goes that way. You can go research Mount Meru. You'll be able to discover that. Buddhist, synchronism, ancient belief systems have known this for a long time. They've been hiding this from y'all. That's where all of your wind comes from. This God in the center of the universe, which is magnetism. There you go. It's amazing, the mysteries of the universe. So simple, yet it's complex, or it's simplexity. Meaning you can explain it very simply when you understand it. It's very, very complicated to understand. Alright, so I like to use Synergy Trilogy. Shake it up a little bit. This is a little half. I'm using half because I've already put some in this guy. Okay, so I guess I'll start doing that now. It's not a bad idea. Alright. See that symbol? You know you can trust the moringatribe.com or moringatribe.com. This is American made, baby. America. Proud to be American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. Okay, there you go. So, yes, you actually use some kombucha. I might save myself just a little sip. Just for me. And you actually can later, like I got an apple. When you're done with this, you can put apple, strawberry, blueberries on the top when you're done. And say, okay, so say this is done in about a week or 2. Okay, you try it out. It's good. So you filter it out. You keep the scobies in a different jar. And then you can pour them in there. It's like vinegar, or it's a starter. That's what it's called. Okay, you have your cheesecloth over that. So when it's done, and say you filter it out. Okay, and then you pour some in say like a jar like this. Okay, at the top, I can put blueberries, apple slices, grapes, whatever. Okay, at the top. And then you want to set it out for a couple days and let it ferment even deeper with those things. Then you want to take it and put it in the refrigerator, get it cooled out, and then you'll have a kombucha, whatever you put in there. Apple kombucha, blueberry kombucha, strawberry kombucha. You can even do banana kombucha, I think. But you really want to stick with something that's more like acidic fruit. Okay, so let's pour this. I got my moringa powder over here. All right. I like the little effect we had because it's like electrical, and that to me is what kombucha is. Electrical, baby. It's how I feel most of the time. All right. Let's electrical. Okay, we're gonna do some electrical stuff. So you only want to use wood. Bugs, by the way, they love this, and that's a good sign because it's just pure life. They love it. Okay, so I got that cheesecloth all on it because it's spilled. It can get messy, which is okay. You stir this up. You want to use raw cane sugar if you want to ever feed it. You're feeding the scobies. I showed you my SCOBY baby. This is the SCOBY baby. Look at that SCOBY baby. Isn't that wild? Can you see that? Look how big it's got. It gets bigger and thicker every day. Each time you put sugar, it gets bigger. It gets more strong. It's pretty wild. It's like a live mushroom culture. It's called SCOBY or mushroom. Whoop, there it goes. Really sweet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use this to kind of block it so it doesn't get poured into this. And that is messy. Now, one thing to also understand about this stuff is it's very, you know, if you put like copper in there, or metal or anything, is that say you put using a metal spoon, anything. That's why I know that you see I have metal on that there, but you know, I'm using the cheesecloth over it first. So it's not really getting that much interaction with the metal. Now, here I've caught that baby SCOBY, which I need to put back. That was the SCOBY. Let's try this again. You gotta be careful because there's that SCOBY in there. I think I got another baby SCOBY. Wow. See, what you want to do is keep that. Damn. It really likes to. It's hard to pour that out without it pouring everywhere. It's got a really strong taste, smell, even in the room, you know. Okay, I'm gonna get this back to normal. So, that's kind of what it ends up looking like. And you can reuse that or throw that away. It's a cheesecloth. You'll notice, see, it didn't really, some of that got through the metal, but it's not enough like it's sitting there. That's why I used the cheesecloth to begin with. I'll put that in this cup over here. So that's pretty much what you end up with. Like, you know, I got that much out of it. Now that's the kombucha. Okay, I strained it. Now I can drink this. It tastes actually really good. But this is not done. It's just a really sweet drink, in other words. So I'm just going to show you like this. Okay, and I'm going to drink this. Oh my god, it is so freaking good. It tastes like a super good pink lemonade, and it's amazing because it has so much moringa in it. So it has a concentrated amount of moringa from the moringa tea. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I'm gonna keep me a cup. And no, it's not done yet. Okay. So I strained out, you know, that amount there. So what we have over there is kind of the gunk stuff. So now, yes, you still need these scobies, but we got the gunk out, I think. If anything, now, if you were going to complete this was 2 weeks later, and you were done, you would keep this over here separated. This would be your starter fluid. See, so you just keep it over here. You can feed it. The more stuff you give it, after a while, like if I kept it in here for like 4 weeks, then you put another cup of sugar, it'll turn into a very strong fermented, like vinegar, okay? And that's when it's good, okay? We talked about apple vinegar. No, apple vinegar is not healthy if you buy it in the stores. You have to keep it fermented. In fact, I'll go as far as to say that I'm using this as a stable thing to put in here to start my kombucha, right? Because it has a lot of stuff that it needs. However, this store-bought kombucha is not a fresh raw fermentation. You want to have it fermented. It has more of the probiotic enzymes that your body and stomach needs. I'll pour the rest of this in here. See that? So you're going to want to use original if you can. I think this has fruit in it. This is ginger. It does have raspberry. It does have green tea, kiwi, lemon. See, and that's not good, to be honest, because we're going to try it anyway, but you're really not wanting to use anything alkaline. But these things are not really alkaline for real because they had a lawsuit against them. They have to pasteurize it. So all kombucha you buy is not natural. I mean, it's not necessarily like real deal kombucha. It's not jam-packed. You see what I'm saying? Just like apple cider vinegar. It may even taste like vinegar, but it's so pasteurized, so filtered out, so, you know, because they don't want you to get sick. You see what I mean? That's kind of the gist of it. So let's pour the rest of this guy over. Look at those guys. That's the granddaddies. Oh, grandpa. We got the baby already was in there first. Okay. So now you could always add a little more sugar if you want. You'll notice the one when they're at the top is when they're eating the sugar. Okay. When they go to the bottom, they may be eating some sugar, but you add more sugar, I notice they float to the top. They'll be, like I said, this nasty grime. See, like that? Look at that. You want to take that out. Okay. That is like just pure bacterium. Okay. So I could put that over here for right now. Wash it out. You throw that out. It's the bacterium created from the fermentation. So it's natural. Okay. It's just the leftover gunk. And these guys are your cleaners. Okay, these scobies right here are cleaning the bad bacteria from the fermentation. So now what's really good is you want to take the top and put this on it, and you want to give it very little oxygen. You may put a little air flow. See if I can find it. Where is that? I may have left it downstairs because I had stuff on it. But in the meantime, you can cover it like this even, or even with a cheesecloth. That way bugs don't get in it. And right now it's going to build a combustion. Okay, it'll build some combustion. That's looking really good. You see how them guys, they floated to the bottom, and that's all right. Let it ferment, let it build that combustion, and then my cheesecloth is here, and I'm going to put that on there, excuse me, and I'll put the top, so that's moringa, kombucha. We just did moringa this time. The last video I showed you in my moringa kombucha video, I did reishi mushroom and soursop and moringa.
Wow.
Yeah, this is just moringa. This tastes really good. So I got my little cup of pre-kombucha, which is very good for the stomach. Can help you lose weight and all that good stuff. So now we're going to come over here. I'm going to show you the amazing, it's 20 minutes. This is really deep. This is the deep secrets. In fact, I'm going to download this before they remove it. This is one of the most amazing things ever. True super genius of our time. Okay. There's only a couple geniuses I know like this who figure out something that nobody's ever talked about. That you get to experience in your life. This is one of them. Theoria apophasis. Some of the words he even says I can't pronounce. Okay. This is the deepest secrets of magnetism, first time explained in the center of light inertia plane. Okay. I really believe this guy knows not only what he's talking about, but that's the black hole. I really believe he knows what the black hole is, but I don't think he wants to talk about it because it's a hard subject to just come out and talk about. And I think that we're the first people to really embrace it and talk about it. Then you got this guy here, the greatest lost secret of it. I think this is the same guy. He's got a lot of tattoos on his hands. I want to say his name right. Because I want to give credit where credit's due. I think his name is Eric something. Wow, I didn't know that, but I think there's a part 2 to this. Because it says right here. There he is. That's the guy. If you see him, go watch his videos. Look at that. Enlightened Magnetism Part 1. And I'm just going to tell you that science,
Okay, I promise to show you something.
science is nowhere near ready for this information. In fact, they're keeping you from this very information right here. This is magnetism. The deepest secrets of magnetism, first time explained, the center of light, inertia planes.
Now that I've never talked about before, and that will be in the 4th edition of my free book, not selling anything, Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism.
There you go.
Okay, right now we're looking at a magnet underneath the ferrocell, invented by my buddy, Tim. And here you can see, moving clockwise, brighter lines. These are just fed by standard hardware LEDs. Okay. Now underneath that, moving in a seemingly opposite direction, or counterclockwise, you will see dimmer lines. The dimmer lines is the opposite face of the magnet that is furthest away from the surface of the ferrocell. The ferrocell are two perfectly optically flat pieces of glass, in between which is a special solution that is less than 1 micron thin. If you were actually to have this ferrocell in your possession, you would actually see holographic depth far deeper than any hologram, even the best art hologram that the world has ever seen. And this is less than 1 micron thin. But that's not what I'm talking about here. Let's first take a look at what we're looking at, then understand what we're looking at. Because descriptions are one thing, explanations are another.
Yeah.
So, here you see it. Clockwise brighter lines and seemingly counterclockwise dimmer lines. So, what do the dimmer lines represent? Now, we hold a position that is irrefutable, that there is a double vortex on either pole of a magnet. We think that one side is moving clockwise and the other side is moving counterclockwise, but that's a spatial vector. In reality, the truth is, and this is something I've already mentioned, I'll get to the main point here in a second. The truth is that both are moving in exactly the same direction. If you place your hands like this and move them opposite each other in a way, you'll say, well, they're moving inverse to each other. But if you look at each hand, you'll see that this one's moving counterclockwise, and on the other side, this one's moving counterclockwise. If you move them clockwise, they're also moving inversely, but if you look at each one, this hand's moving clockwise and the other hand's moving clockwise. So the vector of inverse movement is only a spatial vector. Both are in reality moving in the exact same direction. These curvilinear circles, okay, you need to understand something else. It is amazing, and this is the most fundamental principle of the universe, and yes, I don't care if it sounds hubristic or boastful, but I'm the first person on Earth to figure out what magnetism is, how magnetism works, and that it can exist in no other way. Simplicity is divinity. If you want to talk about Occam's razor, the most simplest explanations must be the true ones. There is nothing possibly conceivable that is more simplex than this. Explaining it, however, is not simple. The explanation is not simple. Really, the main reason it's not simple is because human comprehension of geometers and the notion of geometry and metageometry, space and counterspace, the conjugate principles of force and motion, inertia and acceleration are not anything we learned in college, high school, or anywhere else. Don't learn it in college either. You know, I've hung out in university libraries for countless years. You'll not read about this stuff anywhere. Okay, now let's come to a comprehension. I'll explain something to you and you'll understand something. And I'm going to show you something for the first time, so bear with me, okay? Something that you'll love, something that's wonderful. Or that movie, 2010, Space Odyssey, and he asked the mystery old guy, said, what's going to happen? And the old guy says, something wonderful. So, I'll amaze you here in a second, okay? Let's explain this first, okay? We know that the brighter lines is the closest face of the magnet. The dimmer lines that are moving seemingly the opposite direction are actually moving the exact same direction. And these are all curvilinear vectors. But the light is shooting in from here. So obviously we have bright lines and we have voids. Bright lines, voids. Either side. We can look at this side or the other side. Okay? What is this? It's not additive and destructive interference like we're talking about in the double slit experiment of the laser, but the principle is still the same. It's a conjugate principle that there's a double vortex on either side of any magnet. And a magnet, of course, has spatial vectors. Polarity is only the definition of the inverse of counterspace. So why are there black voids here and then bright lines? Black voids and lines. Same thing for either side. Think about it a second. It's the same principle that we think of as destructive and constructive interference. Hold on, I'm going to show you something neat in a second. You have to bear with me. You have to build up to understanding the comprehension of this geometry that defines the reciprocating precessional hyperboloid that extrapolates itself out as the hypertrochoidal pattern that we see here. This pattern that you see, a spirograph pattern or a hypertrochoid pattern. So why voids, bright line, voids, bright lines? Why? The light is absent here because the vector that is moving where there is no light on either side of this magnet is where the centripetal convergent vortex is coming in. The light is disappearing. You see this black spot right here in the center? This huge black spot that will appear on any magnet, whether it's a spherical magnet, a conical magnet, a donut magnet, a flat magnet, a square magnet, a circular magnet. It all looks the same underneath the ferrocell. Because magnetism is magnetism is magnetism is magnetism, and a magnet is a magnet is a magnet. It has no differentiation as far as the geometry of the magnet, whether it's spherical, conical, cubical, doesn't matter. Because magnetism and inertia, force and motion, inertia and acceleration, are transcendent to the spatial geometry that magnet is compressed into and formed as. Well, let me show you something else, okay? This black spot right here is where the light has disappeared. It cannot penetrate this spot, nor can it exist here, because this is the point of centripetal convergence, where light is literally sucking down like a drain down a hole, okay? And the places where you do see bright lines, either on this side or the dimmer lines on the other side, that is where the centrifugal divergence, the true magnetism, exists. Where magnetism, literally, the loss of inertia, as defined by force and motion, is being blown out. Centrifugal divergence is where the white lines exist. Centripetal convergence are where the black spots exist. That's not the point that I was building to. Let me show you something. Now I have a magnet underneath here, and I have the ferrocell on top of it. So what happens if you think I were to put a magnet on top of this? What would change? If I put it, let's assume that this is the South Pole. Let's assume that I put another magnet, South Pole to South Pole. Okay. Magnetic repulsion in the crudest sense, which does not really define what's going on. It's a dielectric convergence or dielectric voidance or a dielectric countervoidance. So what happens if you think I put South Pole against South Pole? Would the black spot get bigger because I'm increasing force and motion? It certainly will. You won't be able to see the vantage point, but I'll show it to you, okay? Let me do it off at an angle here so you can see it properly. Hold on, let me get a better grip on the old magnet. Otherwise, I don't want to slip out of my hands because it's powerful, okay? So I bring it closer. You'd actually see, and you can't see because I don't have the angle at that spot right now. As I get closer, you can see what's going on here. There's a black spot building right in the center there. Now, if I bring these two magnets together, it will be exactly the same as so far as the field and the pressure mediation is concerned. If I were looking, think about this now. Pause your brain and concentrate your damn brain a second. When I place these two magnets together in what you would crudely call magnetic attraction, is increasing inertia and acceleration. So what I'll be looking at here, the ferrocell will be the dead center of a magnet, because when you bring two magnets together and they snap together, what I'll be looking at here in the ferrocell is the dead center of a magnet. They will be close enough.
I want to tell you real quick, I'm going to go right back to him because we're about 9 minutes in, that when you look at, this is the picture that, it wasn't what I said. This goes against community standards, right? Because what I'm showing you here is a logo of what God is. This is God. I'm showing you a face of God, picture of God. This picture is not accepted because, did you see that right there? What he's telling you is these electrical vex things, they're only going one direction. If you were to look at it like this, it's 6, it's like a 6, it's a 9, right? That's why it's so important. Okay, let me just show you what I mean real quick. When you've got that vex or that center vortex, that's the teleportation, the black hole. It's the center of all energy. Okay, the black hole. Okay, now when you look at that, like, you know, when you see a 6 or even a 9, however you want to do it. Okay, look, that, right? You see the 6 there? It can also be a 9, right? Because if you want to look at it, you can go like this. See? And you can go like that. And then you can go like that. What he's telling you is they're all going the same direction. They build up on top of each other, however. Okay? Alright. Just like that. That's magnetism. We've been told that there's this vortex thing going on between one going to one direction and one going to the other direction. Is what he's saying is that's false. I really believe him because he's truly an expert in this area. But however, does that not look like the same thing you got going on here with this black sun? See that? Because it's magnetism. This is the most powerful energy on the planet. Okay, it's not the sun. It's magnetism, magnetism. It's dark energy. Okay, it really exists. Okay, it's nothing to be scared of or dark, whatever. So I just thought I'd stop and show you how it's kind of like the black sun. And you notice this, they see the stars taking form here? It's just like what we got here, the Hyperborea. You see that? Oh, dang it. It always does this to me. There we go. See that? Or you can say, like the beehive. Okay. Okay, I just thought I'd bring that up. Let's listen to a dude here.
So that they will be one magnet. So what do you think will happen? Will it be the inverse of a black spot like we see here, as the light is disappearing down the point of increasing inertia and acceleration? Or will there be a gigantic white disk of light?
Isn't that interesting too, how this is like your pupil? This is like the eye, and we have a dark spot in the middle of both of our eyes. They say that the eyes are the windows to one's soul. I find that pretty interesting, don't you? Maybe our pupil is the ground to the electrical impulse throughout our whole body. Think about that.
At the center of every magnet, there is no magnetism. If we're able to go to the center of the Earth, the point, or the center of gravity, if you will, and gravity does not exist. Gravity is not an autonomous field modality. Of course, gravity exists, that which we call gravity. But
I'm so glad that he mentioned that, because even Sir Tesla did not believe in gravity. Gravity has never been proven. It's still, to this day, a theory. Okay, what Tesla and everyone agrees, I agree, any real true scientist will tell you, gravity, yes, there's something that holds us down. You drop an apple, obviously it hits the ground. There's no doubt about it. Okay, that's density. That's an entirely different subject than what they're trying to write off as this thing called gravity. Gravity is not provable. It does not exist. That's just a man-made word after all. However, electromagnetism makes much more sense, because we can see things connect or give life, bring life, and like for instance an apple tree grows up and then an apple falls off the tree. Now you're focusing on something called gravity, Mr. Newton, and an apple fell on your head. However, what you should have been focusing on is the roots going to the tree, grounding to make that thing have energy, the sun giving it energy to make the tree grow, and then produce fruit. That's just like us. When you ground yourself, that's the main key. You're a plant to this earth. You root yourself barefoot to the earth and the soil, the grass, whatever, and you gaze at the sun. You're gaining, like you're plugging in, like we showed that battery, that car battery early in this video. You connect to the earth, grounded to the earth. Then the sun energy allows you to activate your pineal gland. And I'm going to go into a video that's a sneak preview of my documentary on a clip on how you can decalcify your pineal gland much faster than ever. And it's a clip that's unlisted on my channel, so you have to have the link to go view it. In other words, I may put it in this video link description so you can go view it. It's really important because it does talk about that in magnetism or magicism. So anyway, yeah, that's really special, because that tree, just like you, we're very similar to trees, photosynthesis. We produce based upon the energy from the sun, but you don't realize there's more energy because grounding. So in other words, if you wear your shoes all day, right, you sit in your car, you never grounded there, there's rubber on your car, you have rubber insoles on your shoes, you go to work, you go up the stairs, you're in a building, there's just more and more less conductivity or ground. So therefore no conductivity. You're dead, okay? In a sense, dead as a doornail. You're not grounding, you're up in the air. And that's why you often will have, where you're static, you have static electricity, you zap someone. Okay, you ever done that? When you're on the carpet and you get your socks and then you start zapping people? Okay, that's kind of the same point. You're zapping people because you're now all of a sudden taking that electrical energy and you're touching someone who's negative, who's not, grounded. You get your socks and they have their shoes on, and so you can take and touch someone and you electrify them with a little shock, right? You ever done that as a kid? You do those experiments where they have a helium balloon or a balloon in general, and you rub it on your hair sticks up, okay? It's the same idea. There's a static electricity in the balloon. You rub it on your head, and by rubbing it back and forth builds that electromagnetic energy. So with all that said, going back to the tree and the apple falling on Newton's head, he should have focused on the fact that electromagnetic energy grew that apple, okay? That's the black sun. The black sun makes the roses bloom at night. That's why in the morning, if you ever come out in the day, from the morning before, you notice, dang, man, those flowers bloomed overnight. You ever heard of that? People give credit to the moon for that, but the electromagnetic energy actually comes from the black sun, which is the hole in the center of the universe. The moon is kind of a reflection of the earth, so in other words, it's the mirror. But if you look deeper, you'll find the hidden one, which is the black hole, or the black sun. Okay, that's what he's talking about.
Gravity is absolutely no different than magnetic attraction. What is specifically dielectric avoidance? The only difference is the attribution. In the case of a magnet, it's coherent. In the case of gravity, it's incoherent. So, at the center of the point of gravity, like the center of the Earth, the center of the Sun, there is no gravity. So at the center of the strong field, there is not that field. At the center of every magnet, there is zero magnetism. You see that underneath the ferrocell. You can see that underneath magnetic viewing film. You could even see it if you were to bring two magnets together with a Gauss meter at the center. So, we know what's going to be at the center. Is there going to be a black spot or a gigantic disk of light? What do you think the answer is? We're creating one magnet out of two. You'll notice as I get it closer, hard to keep it from snapping together, I don't want to break the glass, that at first, the black hole gets a little larger. Notice the flux line is diverging. You see that? Now wait, what happens when I bring it together? Look at what's forming before I bring it together. You see that that ring of light? As I get closer, let me get it so you can get a better view. As I get closer, the black turns into a ring of light.
That's the sun, y'all. That's how the sun is created. That's like the eclipse right there.
Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see it. Here we go. Hold on a second. There we go. A ring of light. What you're seeing is the center of the magnet. These two magnets are now effectively one, even though they're separated by a couple of thin pieces of...
So that's like the sun. When you have the black sun, which is one magnetic force, goes onto another magnetic force, which is the sun, the yellow sun, which we see in the sky. That's when it creates a really strong radiation. It's like this combustive force, if you will. Just like when we breathe in oxygen, what actually makes our engine tick, our engine and everything function, our organs in our body, our heart pump blood through our body, and all this reaction is actually the oxygen, but also the nitrogen, nitric oxide, nitrogen and oxygen, which is in the atmosphere, and that gets our heart and machines starting to orchestrate, and just like you start a car, the engine combusts and then it starts to move, right? Okay, so we are combustible, machines, kind of like a car. We get going in the morning, things like that. Now, without this magnetic energy in our day, we know we would not wake up. You would not wake up out of bed. You couldn't raise your hand, okay? If you took this away from us, we would all die. This is why when you say, praise the Most High, that's the black sun, and then the yellow sun. This is why they've made allegorical stories, such as the Bible, depicting these Jesus figures and God, but they have you ignore nature and things like the sun and the black sun, not the moon. The moon's not real. Stars are not real. These are reflections, okay? Sparkles of light, energy, okay? That are responsible for, made like this. You see how this magnetic energy, okay, when it came together with the other magnet, what happened? Did you notice? These little sparkles of light? That's like your stars. You see them? These are like stars. So they form when two magnetic energies come together. It creates the sun. Okay, so there I say I have videos in my channel. You can go see the black sun, and I kind of didn't explain that. I'll just jump over there real quick just to prove my point real quick, because these are videos I just posted about. Dr. Kazar even subscribed to me because I guess he might have thought that's pretty interesting. Some to watch on my playlist: Earth's Hidden Black Sun, Exit Hole Basics, Ryu, the sun and the second sun. Okay, you see that picture there? Now, did you notice the sun? Yeah, but what is this sun in front of that sun? You see, those are two magnetic energies. When that one goes in the front of that one, that's when everybody stops and like looks up and like, whoa, it's the eclipse. Yeah, pretty amazing. That energy. Even in the David Bowie energy music video, if you look it up, Black Sun, actually he calls it Black Star. So they're going to hide it, right? They want to call it anything but what it is. It's a black sun. It's a sun because it's a major entity that is of its own, device or entity. It's not a star or anything like that, okay? I got video of the actual black sun. Okay, proof of the black sun here. Let's see, the new ones I posted right here. What is the black sun in 2 minutes? Black sun addressing critics, debunking sensor overload. This was in Britain. This shows you the different lights you can use and how it doesn't become the black sun. Occult magic, secrets hidden, hermetic principles of self-mastery, teachings of Hermes or Thoth. Very interesting. Let's see here. I'll just show you this one because it's really short, but see that? And that's not a UV sensor. That's a no filter. Like, you can look that up here. Okay, full spectrum UV camera. So in other words, the camera is not responsible for doing this. This is 100%. What he was saying was the black sun, the other side of the sun. And he was filming it, so you could see there's a black sun in the sky. That's the dark matter that controls everything. And it makes the yellow sun on the other side of the world. So there's two sides. This is why they keep us grounded in their jobs, enslaved us. They keep you slave working so you don't see this black sun above. That's God. It's really that simple. Nothing magical. You're gonna, you can pray to it, you can connect with it, whatever. That's God. This is why this is offensive on Facebook, because they don't want you to worship this, which is the black sun, the real God, which you will call Satan because you want to bastardize it and say it's evil. There is nothing evil about God, the creator. This really created everything, just like he said over here. Okay, this thing literally came out and magnetized everything you see. Boom. You talk about a big boom. This is why they pretend and play like CERN is going to create this magnetic boom, and they're going to split a cell and recreate the creation, and they're going to let in all these demons and crap. No, if anything like that happens, it's the 12. It's the 33rd degree creating demons. Like literally, they're putting evil people out there to make it as if it's real. Satan, evil people, deities, does not exist. It's only in your head. It's fear. I've never seen anyone die. I've never seen anyone killed. Doesn't make it that it can't happen, but it's not going to happen because I'm not going to allow it to happen in my reality. Okay? You just have to put yourself in that spiritual realm. When you ground yourself and put yourself in the spiritual realm, you won't attract fear, guilt, shame. You're not going to create negative entities or demons, if you will, dark entities. No, my world's really beautiful. I'm a neutral charge, but I'm a positive and a negative. I am all things, therefore I am God. That's kind of what that hermetic thing is, and if I got enough time on here, I might actually go to that one, because then we'll have a really tasty series there. The 7 basic principles. It's 10 minutes. Wow, look at that dragon. Oh yeah, this is that Game of Thrones. There's what you're supposed to have as an Aryan. There's the wolf, the berserker. See how they try to copy and bastardize the Vikings? The Vatican tried to overthrow the paganism and stuff like that. Pretty interesting. So we may go back to this if you guys want to. It's the 7 Hermetic Principles. You can look it up. It's got 500,000 views, not bad. Teachings of Hermes or Thoth.
Hermes Trismegistus may be associated with the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth.
Trismegistus. You know, that's where the word trigonometry comes from. Pretty wild, huh? There's like actual language as well, if it's on here, like that's ancient language or numbers that have been removed, and it's pretty amazing, which was used for all basic magic. And we're not taught it. It's not implemented into English at all. English is a bastardized or a cursed language, so they remove those things. Let me see. Yeah, I can't find that video, but we'll go to this one pretty soon. It's pretty amazing. It's called 7 Hermetic Principles, Self-Mastery, Teaching Hermes and Thoth. You gotta remember, Hermes was the man version. Thoth became the God version. Okay? Which both pretty much, they're one and the same, Thoth and Hermes. Hermes was the Greek version, I believe, Thoth, another version. It was man becoming God. And this is the 7 principles that are lost of becoming God. But let's go back to our magnetism dude. Which he only got 8 more minutes with him, and he's actually very interesting. I hate breaking it up like this. If you want to watch it full-fledged, I'll leave it in the link description of this video. I'll just do it like that. That way, I actually downloaded it. I'll put this on my channel. Right. Well, I gotta go on it. Ishtar is actually like very similar to Christianity, believe it or not. You shouldn't be calling this evil or pagan, because Easter is originally the celebration of Ishtar, a Syrian and Babylonian goddess, fertility and sex. Her symbols, like the egg and the bunny, were still fertility and sex symbols. Or did you actually think eggs and bunnies had anything to do with resurrection? After Constantine decided to Constantize the empire, Easter was changed to repent Jesus, but its roots is Easter, which is how you pronounce Ishtar. It's all about celebrating fertility and sex, or the rebirth, as Jesus came back to life. This is why she has a ankh right there in her hand. If you notice, it's an ankh. That's the whole earth, the living life. Okay, there's the flat earth plane, the dome above, the human, which is the 5, and the below. Okay, which is a woman here, which is the creator, woman for man. Without feminine energy, just like the black sun, man could not keep procreating. If you've ever seen this, there's 2 owls on the right and left. That's wisdom on either path. Right and left path is wisdom, which means no matter if you're, Christian or pagan, okay, it doesn't matter. You both have sex to procreate. So it's wisdom on both paths. Right and left have sex in order to procreate. No matter who you are, you have to go to the great and sacred vagina. Okay, plain and simple, the feminine energy. Okay, that's how that works. So it's interesting. It's not demonic, it's not evil. Okay, you are not meant to avoid the darkness, you are meant to go into it. That's the black hole. Feed it love, illuminate it, transform it into the light. Only love has the power to heal darkness within you. Okay, so you have a lot of these memes and little stupid ways to, look at darkness, but there's no better way magnetism, dude, was to look at it than look at it like black sun is the negative energy, which is creator of everything. Okay. And I'm going to bring this and post this in to be announced, because I'm not even sure what this group's about. Oh god, it's a Christian group. Well, I hate this video. I don't know. We'll do it anyway. I actually converted, or what you want to call converted, but brought a lot of Christians into the light, or into the darkness. We brought a lot of Christians into the darkness of truth. We'll just put it that way. The black hole is the truth, the way, the truth, and the light.
For precision glass. In the center where no magnetism exists, there's a halo of light. Oh, that almost sounds spiritual. Yeah, did you go figure that one, huh? So now let's take a look at something else. Let me move the magnets away so I don't destroy my iPad. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, it's magnetism can destroy your electrical devices. That's why they'll put a, like over this computer, I had to do it with my hard drive. There's this stuff like this aluminum, which helps kind of block that. You can put over there, it's called a static bag. And it prevents magnetic things, like, when if they scan it, like say you were shipping your hard drive somewhere and they put it in a scanner or a, what is that called? Metal detector or thing to see if you've got anything like drugs or weapons you're shipping out, or you go through an airport, the metal detector. Okay, if you put like certain electronic devices like that, a hard drive, it can, you can lose memory because it'll erase it, because your memory is actually held on a magnetic disc. Okay, all those files are being held as information in a hard drive or in circuit boards, like a motherboard. So it's really intricate. Anyone who's good with computers will understand life better, that this computer is very complex, but it's very reflective of life. Okay, the black hole is like a giant motherboard, if you will. That might be why it's a feminine divine energy. It might be why they come up with the word motherboard, because all this information and energy is being stored on the motherboard. Anybody that knows computers knows you cannot have a computer without a motherboard. Okay, just like a hard drive, you know, RAM, all that. Motherboard is the brain or the connector of, you know, all that is good, the computer. So it's like the black hole. You need the black hole. It's the motherboard of reality. All your information is stored in that black hole, that motherboard. You can tap into the black hole and you'll know everything that is to be known. It starts with going to the sun, which is like this light source energy here. So actually you go to the light to try to get to the darkness. Everybody has it backwards. Everybody wants to go through the darkness to get to the light. But that's assuming as if the light is the most spectacular or the most powerful. But as I told you, the most high or the most powerful entity on this planet Earth, in reality, you see, reality is a big deal because a lot of people don't understand reality. What I'm trying to tell you is reality is at the center of the hollow earth, there's a black hole. That reality is everything that is stored, all source of all information. Your godhood, everything that you know and you don't know is in the center of that black hole, which is in the hollow earth, Mount Meru, or the Garden of Eden. In the center is the teleportation of the Garden of Eden where you will return, all source. Okay, so you want to actually go to the site, you want to go through the light or the sun, which people call Jesus, in order to get to God or Mother Earth or the black hole, okay, the black sun.
Let's turn on the iPad and let's take a look at what it is we think we're seeing with the simplex demonstration. Okay. There we go. Let's hit play. Well, there are no straight lines in the universe, so we're talking about a point line divergence.
There's the black sun, y'all. Did you catch it?
Let's reset that.
Reset. Bam. Look at that.
Let's reset.
Now watch it again, slowly here. I may want to go it slow. Watch. Right there. Did you see how it bounces back in the same direction? That's what he was talking about. There isn't one going the opposite direction. That's what magnetism, that's what he's trying to say, is it's reflecting back because the dome is reflecting the same thing back to the center. You see that? But everybody thinks that there's one going one direction and one going the other direction. That's what it would look like. You got to remember, it's going at the center like this.
About a point line divergence.
Bam. That's all it's doing right there. One direction. It's going to the left. It's a 3, 6, and 9. If you notice, it looks like 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, or better off, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. But then, once it gets to the end of the edge of the dome, something interesting happens. It reflects back the same exact pattern, right? Going back to the center. There you have it. That's that hyperborea convergence, as he calls it, going back to the... so literally, that's why the black hole is all source energy. It is all space and time. Because time really doesn't exist. That's a man-made precept. But let's talk about going through life. You know, walking through life. This moment and now this moment, right? You just walk through 2 moments of life. You can say, oh, well, Eric, that was 1 full second. We're measuring time, or we're measuring moments, and we call it time. I started this video at 9 o'clock, and it may be 10 o'clock, or 11 o'clock, or 12 o'clock. Okay, that's man-made precepts of time. Now, how long that information took to go from the black hole and convert to the dome and bounce back is like a radar. If you ever seen how a radar works, my father was a radiologist in the Navy. He worked with radar technology. He knew that with light, a laser, he would shoot at something and it bounced back to him. He worked in with like submarines. Okay, he worked on some of the aircrafts as well, any type of radar technology, and they taught him how to measure distances based on how a laser you shot at. Say you shot a laser at that wall, and it would bounce back to you, and by the time, the amount of time it took to come back to you, which could be 0.0 seconds or the speed of light, however you want to call it, that's a human's way of measuring things, right? The speed of light, like 10,000 light speed of light, whatever. Okay. And you could be doing that with a star. You could shoot at a star in the sky and then it shoots back and you say it's 1,000 light years, whatever, which is all bullcrap. We know that. But they make up stuff, right? There's no way of measuring such things because there's no such thing as outer space or planets and stars. Okay, that's just the reality. But the black hole releasing this magnetic energy is like a radar. It literally, it knows I'm talking about this subject right now. It knows all things, and it bounces back to it, back to the source of energy, right? This is how all energy works. Remember I showed you that picture where I said everything looks like this. So all space is filled with that thing that you just saw, this. This is that magnetic energy, okay? And if you look at it, it builds a bigger version of itself there. And you'll see a cube here. And you see it as it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It just continues to go. It is an infinite source of energy. That's what I like to call the serenity and peace. I say I bring forth heaven on earth. But really what I'm trying to say is I'm bringing forth serenity and peace. Because this in its own natural flow, its natural state, is serenity and peace, aka heaven, which does not require a book, a God, a belief system, Jesus, or any of that. Nothing. In its natural state, if you left things alone, you would be in perfect state, an infinite source, which is this. And that's the black hole. So go check out my black hole baby, black sun baby playlist. I have tons of videos on this black sun, which really exists, and many people confuse as Yahweh or Jehovah. It's a lot deeper than that. The God that the Bible talks about is this black sun, okay, on so far, Jehovah. What you worship is actually Satan or money or the government. Caesar created Yahweh, okay? And so we're going to break this down and really wake people up here in a minute. We're going to check this out. This is how you can enter your own godhood. Okay, quit giving your power up to a middleman source. Today I'm more, when you want to say blessed, I'm more favored, I'm more happy, I'm more joyous than ever. Because I gave up religious dogma and bias that was taught in Sunday school. You will find spiritual enlightenment if you put that book away. Go ground yourself on the earth and gaze at the sun. I promise you, you're going to connect with the sun, which is a creation of this black hole, and it's going to give you infinite source energy. Okay, let's hear what he has to say here, and then we're going to go to the Hermetic 7 secrets.
Let's reset that. Find the center.
Black hole, black sun.
Curvilinear.
This is the hypertropoid.
Hypertropoid. And the hypertropoid is actually what's reflected into our nature. There's a conscious energy the black sun creates. It's called a black hole. And what you just saw, it does that. And it'll start spinning really fast. I wish I had a picture. I need to create one. I did kind of do a diagram down here. I showed you that's how a black hole works. It's been manipulated and put on this black hole thing here called Saturn, with the rings of Saturn, 666. Okay, that's Saturnalia, or Satan, which is God, which is Yahweh, Allah, Yahuwah, Yahweh, okay, Saturnalia. It doesn't exist. It's man-made by the 12 or the 33rd degree, which is for everyone, all paths, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, okay? So, very important to understand. This is the hypertropoid. What we're talking about, magnetism. It goes in one direction. It bounces back at the dome, and it goes the other direction. That's why it counter laces over like that, you know. And that's what that you have that hyperboloid, which is showed right here. Okay, people often think there's two things going on, but there isn't. It's all one direction. Magnetism, it's one direction. This is what he's trying to, this is like one of the deepest secrets of magnetism. And remember, magnetism is magicism. You can create things in your consciousness, and as is below, the black sun creates above the consciousness, the yellow or white sun above. It starts with positive thoughts and thinking, and selflessness equals godhood, or heaven, if you want to call it, serenity and peace.
Reciprocating, processional, hyperboloid.
Hyperboloid. Did you see that? That's a perfect
simple processional
diagram. Look at that. Watch it. Watch it. Did you see that?
Reciprocating, processional.
Watch it close.
Hyperboloid. Reciprocating, processional, hyperboloid.
There you go.
It's as simple as that.
That's it.
Is the pattern of the hypertrochoid.
Pure super genius.
That is the hypertrochoid pattern, what you would call
God.
the spirograph pattern.
Remember God?
This is a toroid. The same pattern you see up.
And that's the torus, the toroidal field that you call time and space. As it expands, we expand through time, okay? And if you look at a flat Earth map, you'll see it goes an Arctic circle out here, and if you go further out, you'll find Mars. Mars is not out in outer space. It's here on this plane here on Earth. You can go travel outside the Arctic circle. I got a video on that. If you want to know exactly what video, go to my playlist and go travel down here to a video of mine on here, my channel. Another good one, by the way, is Heaven on Earth, the Black Sun. Okay. But the one I'm trying to talk to you about here is on my playlist called Black Sun Baby. If you go to Black Sun Baby, you can type that in on YouTube. And here it is, Earth's Hidden Continent, Mount Meru. And you'll see that very same toroidal thing. And outside of it, if you look at cosmic egg theory with this man here, Martin Kenny, he tells you how really the spectrum of reality that you live in. So anyway, that's that. And so there's a toroidal field, and as it expands, if time it begins to go slower, Nibiru returns. You can watch another video on that and how Nibiru is going to return, which many people call Jesus or God returns. And an apocalyptic event happens every 400 or so years. It's called the Great Reset. Everything changes, okay? And we're about to have that moment happen. And when that happens, great things are going to happen. All bad things in the world are going to disappear, or they're going to be removed. I've already seen it in the skies. It's called the black sun. I saw the black sun in the sky. It blanketed the earth. And when that happens, all electrical devices, even your light sources, everything is going to be scattered. It's going to just break. You're not going to be able to be on your computer, your TV, your light source will be out. And like they say, the great EMP attack. And you'll be in darkness, okay? You won't know what to do. So that's when a lot of them really crazy things are going to happen, I believe. So, and we're going to come to this video here in a minute. Trigonometris, which is trigonometry, Hermes. Okay, let's let this dude finish the hypertrochoid. Pretty amazing.
Underneath the magnet. And the center of that hypertrochoid. The hypertrochoid is only the flat two-dimensional image of the torus, or the donut. And the inverse image, the donut, represents magnetism, okay?
And the torus is the beginning of all things. The torus is the Torah. The torus is the astrology. It's where all things began. Taurus, the bull, Tor, the toroidal horns, okay? They're going both directions. One direction here, and then one direction back. That's why you have these horns. That's why you see the Taurus. It's so important. They worship the ox, okay, because of that same reason. The Torah is Taurus. Okay, go look that up. Look up Santos Bianchi if you want to learn more about the astrology of these things.
That is magnetism. So, what sits as the conjugate inversed image to the donut is the hyperboloid. That reciprocates. That's the point, the locus of the loss of inertia.
I'm just going to explain, because he didn't really explain it. What he has here is a glass and a magnet, and then he's putting a light over that magnet, okay? Why? Is so he can show you, and then there's a line right here, a dark circular line, so you can measure it if you wanted to, the radius, okay? So he's putting glass, a light, okay, and a magnet. So you can see the toroidal field. This is the energy that you're seeing in a magnet. You got it? And so when it goes out, it comes back. So it's hitting some area, a toroidal field, a barrier, if you will. Just like the dome on our planet Earth. It's not a real glass dome, y'all, that's on the flat Earth. It's a barrier. It's a toroidal field, a barrier that is like an invisible force of energy. If you've ever had a magnet and you flip the magnet on the other side and you try to connect them, you'll notice it pushes it away, right? That's because the energy is shooting upward, like right here. The energy is on this side of the magnet. On the other side of the magnet is the ground, or the negative. So you have the positive shooting upward, that's what you see here. And on the bottom is the negative, right? So if you have a magnet and you try to put a negative, it'll click, right? You ever seen that? Now if you put the positive in the positive, they will deflect each other, right? Or excuse me, the negative and negative, they'll deflect each other because those are two bottoms that are negative. Now the two positives will click and connect with one another, okay? So that's how a magnet works, and that's how our Earth works. Our entire Earth is this, that we are on this flat Earth. It's a circle. Now turn it upright, and we are walking like we're walking upright like this on a flat plane, okay? This is why when you sit down and meditate, you can connect with this energy that's constantly going back and forth all day long. And you can meditate, and you will absorb that power only when you are still. If you're constantly moving, going to work and moving, this is why they keep you in constant motion. You are acting like a positive neutron. You're going constantly, and you're not tapping into your godhood. The only time you can tap into God is when you are still, like God. Hence the Bible verse, be still and know that I am God. You ever heard that Bible verse? The Bible has a lot of poetic Shakespearean wisdom and half-truths, but it's not a literal story, meaning that those events in the Bible did not happen. Okay, some of the best energy I get is when I go outside at nighttime and I ground to the black sun, which I see reflected in the sky as the moon. Okay, that moon is a reflection of the Earth, the map of the Earth up onto the moon. That's why if you look at it closely, you'll see things that kind of look like, Africa, Europe, all that, which are just little continents. Like imagine a continent here, here, here. This is Mount Meru. This is in the center. This is the North Pole. That's why the North Star is right directly above it. Okay, you can go research this stuff. The sun and the moon are the ethers, and the black sun is electrifying this. These ethers are connected. The sun is really the only thing that exists. The other thing is the black sun. The moon is reflecting the Earth onto the other side. Like say the sun's right here. As it moves, you'll see that there's something following it. It's called the moon. It's actually the sun gazing onto the Earth and the continent or the ocean, the floor, and it's reflecting onto this barrier, the dome over here, and it's leaving this moon. And based on where you're at in the continent around the world or on the plane, you may see that moon as a full moon. And then certain areas, as it's moving, you may see a crescent moon, right? It's because where you're at, you're only seeing where some of the sun is reflecting on that barrier, okay? So you may come from the side perspective and you see it as a crescent moon. You won't see it as a full moon. And you'll see a black thing. That's the black sun. Again, the black sun makes up all things. The dark energy is all things. It's the most powerful energy of all. Okay? The sun is just the light which radiates the spectrum of light in our reality. So that's what we see. We see blue, green, yellow, and spectrums of those different colors. For instance, red and blue will make purple. And then you have orange goes along with purple. Okay? Things like that. That's Masonic. All right?
Energy, the ether, everything in the universe is electrical. But electrical is a field modality phenomenon. There is something that precedes the electrical. Because electricity of phi times psi equals Q in Planck of electrification. Phi and psi, dielectricity times magnetism equals Q in Planck of electrification. So electricity doesn't come first. I'm just saying that the universe is electrical. Hold on a second. Let me get in focus here. It's hard to focus on this dim stuff. So you are seeing the torus. These bright lines that are going clockwise is the side faces to you, closest to you. The darker lines moving in seemingly the opposite direction are in fact moving in the exact same direction.
All one direction.
But the spatial vector of the polarity that defines a magnet is the inverse of counter space.
And as we know, all macrocosm reflects as a microcosm. So if this is really the hollow earth center, And we know that there's like a swastika rivers that create a whirlpool effect that creates all the oceans and rivers to move. It starts at the center of our Earth, the flat Earth. Then we know that that's where wind comes. So wind is a magnetic force coming from the center of the Earth, and it's causing a whirlpool effect. Okay, this is why Antarctica is closed off. The government will not allow you to go to the North Pole in certain areas or to Antarctica. There is no below. There is no South Pole. They're right next to each other. They're right with one and within another. Okay, the truth is, on the corner of the Earth, just like this depiction here, you keep going over the ice, and they say, oh, but flat Earth, won't you fall off? No, you don't fall off. You keep going. It's an infinite plane, just like the Creator, or in the center here, is an infinite source of energy, or magnetic energy. You notice how it looks like an eye? That's the all-seeing eye. It's the pineal gland. It's the invisible thing, the hidden one, the thing that is like the eye of Ra. Okay, it sees through all things. That's why when you connect with it, you know what I'm talking about is true. And many people who are enlightened, when they work with their pineal gland, they can see in the dark even, or they can close their eyes and they know they can go forward, they can walk. They have ESP, they have telepathic abilities, they have psychic abilities to just know and download information out of nowhere. Okay, so it's kind of like our eye, you know, our two eyes, our seeing eyes are an illumination, which are good. When you have 20/20 vision, at least, if you wear glasses, it kind of like you're blurry. But then if you close your eyes and you tap into your third eye, it's just like this, tapping into God. Okay? You're tapping into essentially a magnetic energy that is the source of all magnetism or magicism, which is electricity, like he said, which as it increases, you have interesting things happen. Life happens. Life brings electricity and lightning bolts and clouds, and then rain and tornadoes and hurricanes. And that's based, I believe, off of negative actions and things. The more evil the world is, the more people are bullying, the more people are killing, starving people, causing a counter reaction of playing God and being wicked. Not like the Bible. I'm not biblical at all, in the least sense. I'm not religious. But when you do wicked things, there's the counter reaction of bad things happening. Some people could say karma. I know this because go ahead and beat and bully a dog. Beat them to death for a living. Go and try it. I know it's hard to do. I think about. I would never do it myself. But if you did that, you harmed a dog, you were mean to a dog, a little poor cat, and you did it a lot. Don't tell me that person's life would not end short, or they wouldn't obtain cancer. I've seen more people who are like this, who are psychotic, narcissistic, or evil. They call them pathological liar. I've seen more bad things happen to these people, and I don't really believe in karma. I don't, because that's a man-made word. I don't believe in the wages of sin is death necessarily, but I do at the same sense that when you do these bad things, this magnetic energy goes through the black hole. It sees that your intentions are bad through your conscious, and your subconscious becomes rotten. Those who can't dream, you don't have dreams, you may have nightmares, or you don't dream at all. It's because your pineal gland is calcified. Okay, and we're going to get into that here in a minute.
So inertia, inverse of zero-point energy. The conjugate principle of the universe is magnetism and dielectricity, the reciprocating processional hyperboloid. The dark lines represent centripetal convergence. The white lines represent centrifugal divergence. So what you're seeing in the white lines is true magnetism. The light is actually hitting it and bending it along the lines of centrifugal divergence. The centripetal convergence, where light is literally going like water down a drain, is where you see these black voids in between the white lines. Okay? As you can see, these lines that are moving seemingly clockwise are closest to you. They're brighter. The darker lines is the other side of the magnet. Well, they seem to be moving counterclockwise. No, they're moving in the exact same direction, only inverse to your spatial perspective.
Bingo. Genius. Pure
Space
genius.
has no attributes. Space is nothing. Space is the air inside this donut. The cream filling inside the donut of magnetic divergence is literally the farts, the after effect, the remnant remains, the fecal matter of the loss of inertia which necessitates magnetic divergence and reciprocation. As Faraday called magnetism, he called it the dielectric field. And oddly enough, one of the first experts in electrical engineering was the guy who got closest, even closer than Tesla, to understanding what magnetism was in its relationship to dielectricity, because only dielectricity exists. Only. Magnetism is the loss of that inertia. Electricity is a hybrid of dielectricity and magnetism. That which we call gravity does not exist. Gravity is nothing other than incoherent dielectric acceleration. What you call magnetic attraction and that which is gravity are the exact same damn thing, 100% sure as shit, right as rain, irrefutable, undeniable. Magnetic attraction and gravity are one and the same thing. The only thing that distinguishes them is coherency. In a magnet we have coherency. In gravity we have total incoherency. Enough quantity affects quality. Enough quantity affects quality.
That makes sense.
There's only one field, and there are three field modalities. Electricity and magnetism, and that which we call gravity, they're all the same thing. There's no need for a grand unified field theory. They've always been unified. The only thing that's not unified is human comprehension of the nature of these field modalities in relationship to one another. And they are all one and the same thing. To think of grand unified field theory is as stupid as a moron, a caveman, a troglodyte trying to unify water, steam, and ice. We would roll our eyes. Where I'm trying to unify water, steam, and ice. Really? They're all one and the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't unified. Well, they're already unified. It's that simple. Actually, I should have said it's that simplex. It's not simple because human comprehension makes it difficult to explain, making it therefore not simple.
Simplex.
But the principle itself, as it stands by itself, all alone, with nobody else trying to figure it out with their caveman brains, it is not simplex.
Simplex.
It's only not simplex because human beings are very stupid. It's not that that it is that difficult to comprehend. It is that we are that stupid. Oh, we've got computers, iMacs, and iPhones. We're so smart. Really? Do you think so? There's one irreducible fact. It's irrefutable. Every branch of science throughout history has always thought that they were right. They always thought they were so advanced. And 100 years later, sometimes 200, we look back on those people and go, oh my God, they were so stupid. Timeless, irrefutable, undeniable. That always happens. It always will happen. It's as true now as it ever was. It's as true in the future as it ever will be. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you can drop me a buck or two. Tell me jump off a cliff. But this is irrefutable. This is real science. Not quantum, not Einstein's brain farts. True field theory, a la Tesla, Faraday, Steinmetz, Oliver Heaviside. This is cosmic mechanics in reality. Not the mental brain farts and leprechauns and unicorns of quantum mechanics and their bullcrap particles that have no existence in reality, are not the inputs and outputs of any experiment. Thank you and goodbye.
This is the greatest lost secrets of the Pregorians undiscovered. Theora Apocotheus is one you want to check out. His channel.
1, 2, 3, go! Faster, faster, faster!
Happy Friday! Woo! My name is Dr. Jeff Vinegar, perhaps better known as the Dancing Scientist. I have appeared on many national and international TV shows. I have
This
also
guy.
invented hit science toys, performed at the World Science Festival, and I've toured hundreds of schools around the world. And now I have my own show. What was that? Welcome to Generation Genius.
Get ready. It's another modern day Bill Nye the Science Guy.
It's educational
When I put two of the North Poles together, they repel.
and entertaining. Each video covers a specific grade level topic. It also includes DIY activities. Most importantly, it's kid tested and approved.
What do you think?
Now you can watch Generation Genius at your school. Ask your teacher to sign up today.
Always question, always wonder.
Problem with that is they won't tell you stuff like this or the Black Sun, unfortunately.
Hey, if you bear with me, I'm going to reveal to you one of the biggest lost secrets, basically the biggest lost secret of the ancient Pythagoreans. These peace-loving people who were so against violence and even against eating meat, the one thing for which they were accused and rumored to have murdered one person for releasing the secrets of incommensurability.
Incommensurability.
Okay? I'm going to show you some really neat stuff here, and you're not going to find this or read about this anywhere on the internet because I'm the one that discovered it. But it's going to become very, very clear to you very quickly in this video. And if you bear with me in this video, I promise to show you something fascinating. Whether at the end
I'm gonna download this
you think
before they
it's
take it down.
interesting or not, obviously I can't influence that, but you will certainly find it fascinating. I'm pretty sure of that. Now,
50.
okay, if you bear with me. Now we have the current word, which actually derives from this ancient goddess. We're not going to be talking about goddesses, okay? So use this as a starting off point. We get the word hygiene from the word Hygeia, the goddess for hygiene. Now, this is, all words change meaning over time, so now we're left with connotation rather than denotation. The original meaning of this, and this is upsilon, gamma, iota, epsilon, iota, and alpha. And in short form, with 5 letters, it's upsilon, gamma, iota, theta, and alpha. Right? Okay. The original meaning of this, and this is the exact symbol, this Pythagorean triangle I have tattooed in my hand here in green, with a ratio of 1, 1, phi, and 1 over phi. And then we'll try to draw that for you here. And then I'm going to make something really obvious to you in this video. Just bear with me, okay? I promise things will become really obvious, and then your eyes will open up nice and big, okay? This original term referred to proportionality, perfection, incommensurability, and ratio. It is the case that this goddess that was represented as a female, this is still used today. Of course, hygiene means clean. We know that in health, obviously, if someone's body is out of kilter or out of proportion, that they're unhealthy. Now, there is something today, you use medical symbolism that looks like this. It's called the bowl of Hygeia. It looks like a bowl, right? It's a doctor and a medical and a pharmacist symbol for giving somebody elixir, medicine, whatever to get them back into health. Let's get their body back into proportionality. So you can understand how this word for proportionality, perfection, and incommensurability would de-evolve, the de-evolution of the word, into simply meaning hygiene or health. The original meaning of this, trust me, it's going to get really interesting really quick, bear with me, how this would de-evolve into such a meaning. Okay? So here we have this triangle, which by the way has the apex of 108 by 36 by 36 degrees.
Which is all
this
nines.
Is a true Pythagorean triangle. Okay?
All 9s.
Let me show you something here, and this is only going to be the start of it. Okay? Now, I don't want any people bringing up New Age nonsense into this. I'm talking about the original use of this, the absolute original. So here we take, it necessitates 3 triangles to create this pentagram. Now, it's found on ancient Greek coins. This particular, so I won't tell you what's on the other side. It take a long time to discuss it. But on this, and at 5 points, we find upsilon, gamma, iota, and the short form of epsilon and iota, theta. Instead of eugeia, it becomes eugeta. So we have theta here, and up here we have alpha. So this is what we find on some really ancient Greek coins. This is a Pythagorean pentagram, and it represents Hygeia, or Eugeta, or Eugeia, meaning perfection, proportionality. Now, I'll have you point out this central triangle here, just like the central diagram that's tattooed on my hand, that the vertical is not intersected right here, because that is not incommensurable. The vertical is intersected right here, right? This is where this triangle is intersected, right at this location, right?
Okay, what he's
Great.
telling you
Let's move.
what he's telling you here is really sacred knowledge, because that's one of the symbols which used to be used in language. This is like ancient, what you would say, magic or information that's been excluded from our language or our perception through gematria, or I'd say God numbers. He's telling you right here. He's briefing over it, which is great because you can go really deep on it. But that is super important. This right angle. He's about to show you, I believe.
Move on to something else, and then it will keep getting better and better, faster and faster. I promise you. Just bear with me. This is a hidden secret of the Pythagoreans that I discovered in Plato's Republic 509d to 511. It's called the divided line. Okay? This is really neat. You'll like this one. Bear with me, okay? Trust me. It's going to get better, faster, and faster, and faster, and faster. Just bear with me, okay? Here we have a line. The instructions are that we're to divide that line unevenly. Okay. There's an uneven divisor of the line. Now we're to take each one of these sections, we have either side here, and we're to divide each one of these sections unevenly as well. Direct proportionality. Okay? Here we go. So now we have 4 sections. Okay. You see this little math formula that I discovered here on the side of my hand? It says 1 over 5 to the power of negative 3. Okay, let's explore that for a second. This is the lost secret. See, Plato was the notion that someone's a Pythagorean or a Platonist is an absolute BS modern connotation. There's no difference. A Platonist was a Pythagorean, and a Pythagorean was a Platonist, okay? Whoever came first, we know who came first. Doesn't matter. The point is that the metaphysics are exactly the same. So, now, let's take a look at this proportionality of perfection. And then I'm going to show you something neat, and then something neater and neater, okay? Here we have the ratio of phi. This section is equal to 1, and this section is equal to 1. And over here we have 1 over 5. This section is 1. This section is 1. This section is 1 over 5. And this section is 1.618033, blah, 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 blah. But all of this together is, of course, the original single line, 1. This is also why the mathematical absolute is that phi is to 1 is 1 is to phi. Phi and 1 are one and the same thing. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc., etc., approaching incommensurability, that which you call the golden section, or the golden proportion, or the golden ratio. But all of these together, now that we have one line that's been subdivided in perfection and incommensurability, we have 1.618, 1 and 1, and 1 over 5, which is 0.618033, and the totality of these together is 4.23606, etc., 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 which is phi cubed. Okay? Or 1 over 5 to the power of negative 3. This is the incommensurability of the Pythagoreans. Phi is to 1, or phi cubed, and phi squared is equal to 1. This is Pythagorean incommensurability. All I did was take a single line as Plato, and Plato got this from the Pythagoreans, and who knows, maybe the Egyptians before them. I took 1, this is 1, a single line. I divided it unevenly. I took each one of those sections and divided it unevenly. And I end up with perfect proportionality. Phi, 1, 1, and 1 over phi, which equals, in totality, phi cubed, 4.23606. Right? 1 over 2.3606 equals phi cubed. Okay, well, that's not fascinating enough for me. All right, not fascinating enough for you? Sure, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the basis of life. Okay? This is it. Now you'll read that the proportionality is like 104.45 degrees on the dihydrous oxide molecule, i.e. water. You know, the necessity for all life, but the actual angle is just a little bit different. And then we have the exact same triangle here, which forms the basis for all life in the universe, which is 108, 36, 36.
Which is
The
369.
perfect incommensurability that gives life to the entire universe. Water, dihydrous oxide. And interestingly enough, okay, as I showed you, let's move back and forth here so we can understand what's going on. Let's actually just do it here. If I can draw it out perfectly
369.
enough, close to perfect enough. Looking at this triangle, which is actually a little bit off here, we have 1, 1 with a base of phi, and the incommensurable, which occurs at 1 over phi. Which means we have phi as a base, 1, 1, and 1 here, right? You remember the incommensurable point? The point of incommensurability is not at the midsection of this central triangle. This is the Pythagorean triangle, by the way. This is the only damn Pythagorean triangle. By the way, when you actually take this single triangle and you make it incommensurate, then this triangle right here, we have infinite regression. Just like self-similarity in fractals, this is also a 108 by 36 by 36, just as the larger is a 108 by 36 by 36, right? So, but we have a base of phi here, 1, 1, and phi, but in the water we have the inverse. We have hydrogen, and hydrogen, we have a base of 1 and 1, and the oxygen as phi. That which gives life, this is actually what the Pythagoreans were talking about when they talk about the upside down triangle of life. Instead of 1 and 1 being up here, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, right? You still got life, right? We have phi, 1, 1, with the angle of 36 degrees by 36 degrees by 108 degrees. This is the Pythagorean incommensurability, which gives life to absolutely everything in the universe. 1 over phi to the power of negative 3 equals phi cubed equals 1. Phi is to 1 as 1 is to phi. Phi is to 1 as 1 is to also phi cubed and phi squared.
That's how
This is
magnetism
actually
works.
not my position. This is a mathematical necessity. It can't even exist any other way. I'm not able to draw the perfect logarithmic spiral, but you're actually able to see it here, like the nautilus shell. It's kind of hard to draw a perfect logarithmic spiral. We have 1 over phi, 1, and phi. We have incommensurability. Now, let's get back to this. The incommensurability of this. The midpoint is not here. That's not the incommensurate. This is the midpoint of the base. The incommensurate point is right here. Now we have 108 here, 36 here, 36 here. We have 108 here, 36 here, 36 here. This is incommensurability. This is also the only place at which the subsection of this triangle can exist to create the Pythagorean pentagram. So
the basis of all of it.
back to the Pythagorean pentagram. And what we was talking about, Eugeia, Yugata, does not mean health or cleanliness. It means proportionality, ratio, perfection. On those super ancient coins that were found in Greece, or found on one side of the coin, this. Okay, hold on a second. We don't start there, we start here. Water, upsilon, or hydro, gamma or gaia, i.e. earth, iota or idea, forms, you mix earth. Okay, over here we have theta. We also, this is where we get the English term for thermal heat. We have over here earth, we have over here fire, up here we have upsilon, okay, hydro or water. Why would water be up here at top with air, A-E-R, not A-I-R, A-E-R, air. In other words, the ether, spiritus sancta, the soul, the divine principle. Why would we have it up here? Water gives life, right? Let's think about that for a second, see if you can figure it out. Well, it makes sense to have ideas down here, because with fire and dirt, i.e. Gaia, we are able to create things down here in the realm of human beings, right? Why the hell would water be up there? Why that? Well, we know why the air or the ether would be up here, the divine principle. And this is exactly how it's found on the ancient coins. Why would water, or hudr, or water be up here? I don't know if you've ever seen this neat stuff that comes out of clouds. It's called rain. In other words, the stuff that gives life to trees and plants and life and crops, and your ass walking around is made out of a gigantic bag of water. You know, you kind of see that stuff falling from the sky. That's why it's up here. So Haligea, or Yugia, or Yugita, does not mean health. You've actually seen it. Well, an ancient Pythagorean coin, brass coin, it was found the word health. No, honey. No, that is not what they found on the ancient coins. That's what we get the word hygiene. Oh, well, that means healthy. No. You have to go further back. Why are you healthy? Your body is in perfect proportionality, perfect ratio. Everything is singing in perfect harmony. Ha 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 ha. You know, it's not like, the body's not at a harmony. It does not mean health, does not mean harmony. This is what happens when stupid asses try to interpret the original meaning of metaphysical symbolism. Okay, and we're not talking any New Age crap here, okay? Homie doesn't make videos about New Age craps, okay? You see a pentagram in this video? We ain't talking New Age stuff. We're talking about the ancient Greeks. I translate ancient Greek, okay? We're not talking about New Age crap. We're talking about the source, the real original source, the real original meaning of that New Age crap, okay? You get me on that one? Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Perfect proportionality. 1. Divide 1 unevenly. Divide each section again unevenly, and you will always end up with 5. 1, 1, and 1 over 5, which equals phi cubed. And the expression for the loss of inertia actually follows this. People think, well, that's a number. 1 over phi to the power of negative 3 equals 4.23606, which is what all of this is together. 1.618 plus 1 plus 1 plus 6.618 equals phi cubed, or 4.23606. This is not a number. Well, sure it is. 1 over phi to the power of negative 3 is 4.23606. No, that's an expression. You see, when I actually do that over 1, see, this is what people don't get. This is what people in math don't get.
All this equals
From the
1.
principle of true Pythagorean metaphysics, they think that this is the number. Well, if we finish this, then this equals, you know, this.
Which is 1.
By the way, phi to the power of negative 3 is 0.23606, etc., etc., etc. They think that this is a number, i.e. 4.23. No. This is what math, this is a difference, and this is a really key point that you were never taught in school or college. There's a huge difference between math, let me draw this a little better, phi over the power of negative 3. There's a huge difference between math. Math goes, well, I'm going to solve for this. 1 over phi to the power of negative 3 equals no. No, honey. You see this? When I actually put this underneath the 1, that's an expression. That means I'm taking this and I'm expressing it by means of incommensurability. This over this is an big frigging E. This is, listen up boys and girls, this is what the Greeks called arithmos. Well, arithmetic, that means math. No. Math is what modern Western society does. You plug crap into a calculator, you get an answer. You do this, divided by this, you get that. No, that's math. We ain't talking about math. No, we're talking about an expression. When I do this over 1, this is the incommensurability of perfection. This is the ancient principle, the most key. It's one of, it's not the only one, but it's the most principal expression of Platonic Pythagorean incommensurability. Which, by the way, as I pointed out to you in another diagram, if I could actually find it here, is, let me draw this for you again before we end this out, is this 1, 1, 5, and 1 over 5. All these together. And guess what it also is? It's also the basis for life. This is a freaking water molecule. You feel me? You feel me, boys and girls? You feel me? H2O. Water. Do you get me? Do you feel me now? If you like this video, drop a donation. This is my discovery. I made it years ago. I've got proof of that and copyrighted it. Well, actually, I put it into ISBN number. So, I've only scratched the surface. I could go on about this forever, but I would probably bore the hell out of you, if I haven't already, right? Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
The guy that's been talking, we've been showing you about magnetism, is this guy right here.
Okay. This is a video I think everybody should watch, especially even little kids. This is how ignorant humanity is. Now in the past, including the ancient Greeks, Plato talked about the ether, and of course there were 1,000 different theories of the ether.
Quite possibly one of the smartest guys on magnetism that exists today right here. It must be lonely there at the top. Okay, I promised you guys you can always go back to him. You can check out his channel and watch him for hours and days on end. Theora apophasis, empathis, like apotheosis. Okay, this is Hermes Trismegistus. Let's start it over. This is only 10 minutes and I'm going to end it. And then I promised you guys that I was going to go to check out my music video tribute to Mozart. I play a music piece on here. It's pretty cool. Amazing how they say Nothing Else Matters is a similar song to this. I guess I'm honored about that. I don't know. It's a little different. Here's my videos on that playlist, Black Sun Baby. You'll have a fun time if you watch all this. For sure. I'm trying to find, it's secretly hidden here. So I need to put this one in my channel. It's called Viewer Discretion about Dana Piana. This one is definitely it can be very offensive because Dan Piana is very nasty, and so I don't know. I hated having that on there. Child sex trade, Lolita, government royal elite, Great State documentary, what's really in your burger. Okay, what is the latest video? I put it on my unlisted, so you can't watch it. It's about how you're a magician. I'm shocked. I can't find it. Maybe it never really posted. I know it's not public, so you have to. You can't view it. I have to send it to you to watch it. And it's, in other words, it's in private. I just don't know where the heck it is. That's crazy, isn't it? I know in my last video though I put a link to it, so that's how I guess I'm gonna have to find it. Okay. Yes, it was in this video. Which, this was the part 1 to the video you're seeing now. I got 73 views. It's posted today. About kombucha. Okay, here it is. Bam. Great. The unlisted video. I can't believe I can't find it but through that. That's crazy. Yeah, here it is. You Are the Black Sun. It's unlisted. So I guess that's why you can't find it. But I'm going to put it in my playlist anyway. Bam. That way you'll be able to come across it. Okay.
Hey, thank you for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Magic is the power of influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to that because this is an important video that's part of my documentary. Okay. Alright, so let's head back where we were. Okay, that's magnetism. Here we go. We'll watch this right now, and then we'll go back to that video, okay?
Nauseous may be associated with the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Consequently, the two gods were worshipped as one in what had once been the temple of Thoth. Hermes, the Greek god, was combined with Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, to become the patron of astrology and alchemy. In addition, both gods were guiding souls to the afterlife. The Hermetic teachings are found in all lands and all religions. Their appeal is universal. In early days, there was a compilation of certain basic Hermetic maxims, axioms, and precepts, which were passed down from teacher to student, which is called the Kabbalion. The Hermetic literature among the Egyptians was the oldest Hellenistic writings on Greco-Babylonian astrology and also the developed practice of alchemy. In tradition, Hermetic philosophy rationalized and systemized religious practices and explained personal ascension of the physical being. The 7 great Hermetic principles.
Take note.
The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these, understandingly, possesses the magic key, before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open.
Take note.
These Hermetic principles are the basis for the entire field of Hermetic philosophy.
Take note.
The principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. The principle of mentalism embodies the idea that all is mind. Everything that happens has to be a result of a mental state which precedes it. For anything to exist, thoughts had to form first, which then form physical reality or manifestation. Your thoughts are seeds. Plant positive seeds in your mind garden. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. The principle of correspondence expresses the idea that there is always a correspondence between the laws of phenomena of the various planes of being and life. As above, so below. As below, so above. This principle states that there is a harmony which can be made, agreement and correspondence between these planes. The great physical plane, the great mental plane, the great spiritual plane. The outer world is a mirror of our inner world. If we hold thoughts of poverty and lack of good health, this will manifest within our physical bodies. The thoughts and images.
This is what I was talking about when someone said, do you really believe in, positivity? My friend here lately, he said, do you really believe in that bullcrap? He was asking if I believed, in positivity. And of course, yeah, positivity always rules. It wins because you have the connection of negativity. So in other words, demons or dark matter people, you can use them. You can use them to your power because you're grounded. And so if you're negative, in other words, what can you do when you're down in the dumps and you're lethargic or you're living in misery or mediocrity, right? There's not a whole lot you can do. But when you're positive, you can take over the world, right? And so that means your pineal gland is healthy or decalcified. You look at the sun, you gaze at the sun, you're going to gain more positive energy. You're going to charge your battery. You're going to charge yourself. Okay? So let's continue on.
As we hold in our mind will attract their physical likeness to us in our eternal circumstance. This law works unceasingly for the good or the bad. By understanding this law, we can use it for our benefit instead of our detriment. Earth is a school for practicing these laws of mind and spiritual control. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates.
Okay, everything moves and vibrates is number 3. It's a good one to have for number 3.
Motion is manifest in everything in the universe. Nothing rests, and everything moves, vibrates, and circles. This principle explains that the distinction between manifestations of matter, energy, mind, and even spirit are the result of only different vibrations. The higher a person is on the scale, the higher the rate of the vibration will be. Here, the all is said to be at an infinite level of vibration, almost at a point of being at rest. Mental transmutation is described as the practical application of this principle. To change one's mental state is to change vibration. One may do this by an effort or will, by means of deliberately fixing the attention upon a more desirable state. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Take for example hot and cold. Though they are opposites, they are really the same thing. It is merely a matter of degree. The same could be said of spirit and matter. They are really the same thing. Freeze water and it becomes ice, matter. Boil water and it evaporates and becomes gaseous fumes, spirit. They are identical in nature, but different in degrees. The same principle also applies on the mental plane of reality. Take for example love and hate. They are the same thing but different degrees. The importance of this law comes in the understanding of one's ability to transmute and change the vibrations from one extreme to another. This in reality is the study of alchemy. The alchemists of the Middle Ages were preoccupied in changing base metals into gold. However, the real meaning of this comes in the understanding of changing one's base thoughts and emotions into spiritual gold or soul-realized energies. Hate can be transformed by the power of your mind into love, gold. Your lower self can be transformed into your higher self. Your physical body can be transformed into your light body.
Now you see how that magnetism energy is going this way, and it will also bounce back. That's how it all goes one way. Magnetism goes one way, as we heard earlier.
Ascension. Separation can be turned into oneness. Guidance by your negative ego can be turned into guidance by your soul.
That's the black sun. That's the teleport, which a lot of people call the black hole. It's actually the black sun. You see that? Pretty interesting, huh? We touched on the black sun, but this is the same thing, that creates the sun. Okay, they're one and the same. It's just like what he's saying. The black hole, or the black sun, which is in the Mount Meru in the center, is what is the so like you have the black hole here, and you have all these continents on the earth, right? And then you have United States and Canada, okay, and you have another continent over here. You have Mount Meru flowing these rivers, which kind of looks like a swastika in a sense. That's the whirlpool, okay? It's pulling all this energy into the center, known as Mount Meru. That is aka the Garden of Eden, where all creation began. Okay, you can go look into some of this stuff. It's syncretism, which is ancient belief. Okay, it all connects to things like Christianity and stuff like that. To kind of reduce this information. So then you get to the edge, here, the Antarctic Circle. If you go past that, there's Mars and other stuff outside of that. But this magnetism shoots to the dome and it shoots back. So it's like this. So it's all space, remember? And that's God, is the center hole. Now you may be walking here in the 2D world here, or a 3D world, and you'll see a black hole, okay? Physically, you will see it. I've seen it too. And it moves really fast, okay? It gets really big, okay? This really exists. They claim they've taken a picture of this thing, by the way, and it's not true. It's right in our atmosphere, and it's through this atmosphere here on the flat earth plane, so that we see this. So when I talk about the flat earth plane, I'm talking about this Okay, walking on the flat earth. This is above, right? And then you have the sun here, and it's kind of doing this thing with the light. And then you have the moon, which is actually right beside it, because it's reflecting the earth below onto this dome or barrier. So this is how this picture right here amazingly depicts or reflects your real reality, like said right here, greater than anything you've ever been told in science, because everything you know is a lie. So that's that. I'm going to erase this. I'm actually taking note of this. All is mind. All above. I say below is above, because what you subconsciously create, your subconscious, what you envision, what you want to create, your kingdom. Below, the black sun is there to consciously create it with the sun and manifest it. But you have to be positive. You have to have positive thoughts. You have to be selfless, meaning do not care about yourself. Let go of yourself, your ego, your personality, all your opinions. Everything must go. Okay? Just ground yourself. You don't know anything. Now you know everything, because you have allowed that information to come. So everything moves and vibrates back to your mind, because all is the mind, right? So everything moves back. That's 3. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. Okay, it's the Fibonacci, right? The balance between your 3, 6, 9 and then your esoteric, which is 12, which actually 2 plus 1 is 3. So you're back at 3. See that? And then 15, which is 6, right? 18, which is 9. See that? Because, bam. These numbers don't exist, my friends. The only numbers that exist are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Once you get to 9, it goes to 10. But, oh wait, there is no such thing. Bam. Just like 11. 11 is 2. 12, we just said, is 3. See how that works? So, in reality, this is called hashtag God numbers. I've made it available on my sheet. I've showed you guys how it breaks down and how if you follow the numbers, it is all life. This has nothing to do with math. This has absolutely nothing to do with numerology. This has absolutely nothing to do with what you've been taught, period. I broke it down. You look at boxes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? This is all things that are 7. They're in their own box. 7, because nothing can go into 7. It's a neutral, right? 5, 10. 5, 10. 5, 10. 15 goes back to 6. 6 is the guy that's in the center. It's in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 3, 6, 9, 12. 6 and 12 are very important numbers. Or, going back to 3, because 3 goes into 6, 12, 3, 6. This goes over God. God is 10, or 1, which is you. 9 plus 1, or 19, is always 10, which is 1, which is you. That's God. Okay? I know. I hope you can keep up with this. I know it's a lot at once. And then, I didn't get to it, but your balance in between is 2, 4, 6. There's your 6. 8, 10, and guess what? 12. Bam. See how, even with the evens, you have amongst you these guys. And like I said, I showed you how they reinforce each other. 3 and 6 and 9, which is the basis of all life, is a triangle. There you go. It always points to each other. The 3 points to the 6. The 6 points to the 9. Okay? Always does. Truly it does. It's amazing whenever you observe it. Look, 9 plus 9 equals 18. 8 plus the 1 is 9. So no matter what, the 9 is always the 9. It cancels itself out, and it's 9. It eats itself up. Okay, that's just like the Fibonacci sequence. I know this is complicated, but this has nothing about mathematics, okay, at all. It truly isn't. Okay, it's about expression, as our friend said. Expressing. What are God numbers? It's all universal. Okay, so pretty much, if you understand these numbers, why they are important is they are the basis of all your belief system. The Torah, the Bible, what they're doing is they're making Shakespearean poetry and motifs. Motifs or fables, okay, fairy tales. Okay, look, fairy tales, allegory, motifs. These are all words to create stories, or more man-made. Okay, the Bible is completely this. Even in Galatians 4:24, you'll find it says it's illustrative or allegorical. They're one and the same. Allegorical is illustrative, motif, fairy tale, fiction, or, it's not a non-fiction, it's fiction, it's a story, like sci-fi. It never happened, okay? The Bible, which is the Bibble Babble, the Babylon, okay? Bibble Babble. It's also the Helios, Biblios, the holy book, the book about the sun book, the slave manual. Okay, it's a slave manual. Okay, all these are the Bible, or the Torah. The Torah is most true because it's the Torahs, which is talking about the bull, the one bull. Then the Bible comes next. It's the New Testicle. This is the Old Testicle. The New Testicle comes, and it's the Bible. Okay, or the how do you want to bull, which is which is two, like bisexual, two bulls. It's the story of two bulls, the sun and the black sun. Okay, let's see. So you say, okay, I prove that, right? That's what I'm saying. All this can be backed by the numbers. Okay, how so? Let me show you how so. This is really interesting. See, remember when we went 1, 2, 3. Oh God, that's not even 3. I had 9 on the mind. I'm gonna prove what I say. Everything I say, I'm gonna prove to you with numbers here. Okay, 7, 8, 9. That's every type of personality you need to know about. You can box it up. Everything connects. Okay, they're all different personalities. Whatever. Okay, when you get to 10, you're saying 9 plus 1 is 10. Right? But 10 doesn't exist, so it's 1. So really, you could say the most important thing on this planet is 9 and 1, because it's 10. But again, 10 doesn't exist, right? So this 9 is like to say the sun, and when you add 1 to the sun, which is God, it takes you back to God, which is 10, which is 1. See that? It's really, I know it's kind of complicated. I hope this makes sense. So what is 1? Which is you? What is you? You are a creation of the black sun. You are God.